Tobin and Leroy.
Leroy Ford was one of the baddest men.
They call me the kangaroo.
Yeah. Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better ask about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, host of the showman. Still silly sauce when the show in. Till then, it's half moon open. Sometimes go takes like a snowman. No proof, I'm a liar about a molding. No proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever trade again. What is in store? Like under the seat of the driver's side floor, it's coochies galore. So many more from 6 in the Mars, never a more. Man, if I'm honest, the damage is done. Silly sauce, unlimited funds. Join us on Twitch for unlimited fun. J-Fig and Marcos, you with it or what?
Tobin, you two to Tobin is.
Thanks, Low Dog.
Marcos, J-Fig, it is Knicks Hate Week here in South Florida.
Ooh, I forgot. Yeah, I didn't. Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Leroy knows in the deep South, when a rival comes to town, it's Hate Week.
There's only one city.
Hate Week.
Atlanta. There's only one city in New Orleans that's hate.
Ooh, don't get me fired. Don't get me stoked up. Don't you bring trash Falcons and whatever else, the wannabe Belle of the South into this. Oh, Hate Week, man. The Knicks, we play them tonight. We play them 1 week from tonight. It's Hate Week.
Wow, so at the top and the bottom of the week, we get the Knicks.
What a week for the Heat.
What? That's
done.
not accurate.
Yeah, look, Wednesday, top of the week.
No.
Wednesday again.
How about consecutive hump days?
Wow.
Okay.
Because the beginning of the week is Sunday.
Is it? I thought it was Monday.
Allow me a little poetic license on this.
Yes.
Hate Week. The Knicks tonight. Then the Nets. Oh, yeah, by the way, they lost last night. We're a half a game behind the Nets. We win tonight against the Knicks. We are pretty much tied with the Nets. A chance to overtake them, although they've beaten us twice this season already. Nonetheless. Then the Raptors take care of that. Knicks come back. Oh, we go to the Knicks. Whoop that. You know what? An MSG. Hate Week fulfilled.
Okay. Yes. I'm all down for that. And I'm with you. But can't nobody on this show watching, participating, or just having to pass through have any faith that will happen. There's a difference in being fans. We're fans, and this is how fans talk. But even a fan, based on what you've seen for 62 games.
We're going to put together a 4-game win streak this week, this Hate Week.
Wait, I tell you what, I take 4 games right now.
Is that a 4-game win streak?
You take 4 games right now, and you move up. You move up a couple spots. You win 4 in a row.
What? They're 3 games ahead of us in the standings.
You win 4 games in a row, and you are in the mix to avoid a whole bunch of nonsense.
And of those 4 games, 2 against the Knicks, 1 against the Nets, who are right above you. You basically would be tied with the Knicks for essential purposes.
Right.
You'll get those 2 games. And you figure the Knicks are going to be so heartbroken by the 2 losses to the Heat, they'll lose somewhere in between.
That's true.
And you take them to the Nets. And then you say Cavaliers.
Yep.
Well, no, you're going to be pretty far behind the Cavs. You're like 4 games behind the Cavs.
And I'm going to tell you, the Cavs, they're Jekyll and Hyde.
But the Cavs are sneaky good.
They're Jekyll and Hyde, but at the same time, they're really good.
Yeah,
like
sneaky good, by the way.
They got they dude.
Oh, they got a dude. Man, I wanted that dude so bad in the offseason, and everybody told me, no, we'll take Tyler Herro. We don't have to worry about that.
It's weird because Spida is like one of those guys where you know he's good, but you haven't really seen him, and now you're starting to see, oh, he's that good.
Yeah, he is that good.
Right.
Yeah, he's that good.
Right. And he's not very tall.
No, and that was the knock. Why would he want us? A guy that can score 71 points a game if he's only 6'3"? Like, because he can score 71 points a game. And this year we can't score.
And he got ridiculous hops. Like, seeing him dunk is crazy. But that's neither here nor there. Take care of the night. Don't worry about the next game tomorrow. Just take care of the night, and the Heat are in a position right now where you just focus on the game at hand. You focus on what has to take place that night. So they got some rest, which, listen, if you want to say the Heat have an advantage, here's the advantage. They may play back-to-backs, but they've gotten a few days off in the last week or two to freshen up, to get healthy. And my only thing is why aren't we playing Vic? What happened?
Vic says he's not used to this new role on the team. He straight up said it.
But it's like, how do you get, like, Vic was playing in the fourth quarter as a defensive guy, right? Who could do some scoring, and everybody was excited, and then he just boom. That, you know what that is? When I see Spo move the lineups around and change different things, and a guy go from starting to not playing or starting to coach's decision and stuff like that, it reminds me of playing running back for Bill Belichick. I've literally had 25 carries one week, 100+ yards, and the next week have 3 carries for reasons you can't even explain. Till this day, I cannot explain why that would happen. But it always happens with running backs that play for Bill Belichick.
Spo does. Is it Spo does?
Spo does it. Spo does. Somebody will be balling out. For example, you'll have he'll play Duncan Robinson, say he might get 20 minutes tonight. I don't know why, but he might get 20 minutes.
Ball out, hit 5 threes.
He'll make 4 or 5 threes.
And you're like,
start
okay.
thinking, maybe Dunks is finding his stroke, and then coach's decision.
Yep.
Sitting next to UD.
And like we've talked about in the past, okay, maybe he has the hot hand. Put him in. If he misses his first 2 threes, Siberia, gone, back on the bench.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, in sports, there's certain positions where it's hard to do that. And one is, like, one of the things people tell you about running backs is, if your running back is good and tough enough, he'll wear you down, and he won't start getting his yards till the third and fourth quarter, right? But if a coach is not patient with that and he sees 2-yard, 3-yard carries, you don't get to that point. And I used to say, Bill, I'm softening them up. We gonna get them? Nope. Take a break, go pass protect, go run a route. Well, that's the same thing. I feel like, a lot of times in basketball, they tell you shooters got to shoot their way out of it. But if you don't let him shoot his way out of it, it just gets prolonged. So eventually so say if he's been in a slump where he's only shooting 25% from 3, so that's 25 out of 100, right? You might have to take another 40 or 50 to get back into the flow. He gets 5. So how is he ever going to get out of it? Now, I don't question Spo because, listen, that guy is proven. But it just seems like we haven't had a set lineup or a set role for like maybe 4 or 5 guys. And those 4 or 5 guys keep getting rotated in a certain way. I mean, we're to the point in the season, right, where everybody should know, right? Where everybody should know to make that final stretch. But I think that's probably why Spo is so frustrated that he can't really find that mix. Now what has helped is Kyle Lowry playing on the second unit. It's kind of helped that second unit. But we'll see. I mean, do they have the talent? Yes. And the things that go sideways is they may score 45 or they might score 60 in the first half and come out and score 12 in the third quarter. Right? Like, it's just they're very inconsistent.
We're going to touch more on that in 15 minutes of heat, but let's get to some headlines right now. They are brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Does this get you excited, Leroy and Marcos? The Dolphins plan to re-sign Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yes.
Woo!
Like, he went from a starter to a rotation guy.
He played 29% of the snaps last year.
Huh?
He played 29% of the snaps for the Dolphins last season.
But you know what? I think it's just because they signed those other guys.
Yeah.
Before Bradley Chubb and before a couple other guys got here, he was playing most of the plays. So I think Bradley Chubb is an improvement, but I do think Van Ginkel creates depth in that on that front line and maybe some versatility because he can also drop, in the coverage also.
Caleb Martin and Kyle Lowry questionable for tonight's game while Cody Zeller still dealing with that nose issue. He's going to be out. 7:30 is the tip against the Knicks.
Are you shocked?
No,
I mean, how badly did he break his nose where he been out for a week?
I've broken a nose. Well, I haven't broken a nose, but I mean, I've been nailed in the nose and gone, and didn't even go out of the game and stuff.
That's because you were probably inebriated.
Basketball? Okay, come on.
High school basketball. Hey, wait. That day it's New Orleans. Don't be shocked.
I ain't gonna lie.
He said what he said.
The first time I ever played a high school game drunk, I actually scored like 19 points, and I was like, wow. I was loose. I was in the zone, man.
I'll say.
Dude, look, what do you say? What do you think happens in a city where you could carry a road drink in your car and the cops can't check it? What you think is happening?
I always tell the story about being 14 years old and getting off of like a half day of school. And me and my buddies rode our bikes down to Bourbon Street and chained them up. And was walking down the street, and one of those guys was like, hey, boy, hey, come here. You want to buy a beer? And we're like, we're 14. He was like, come on. So he sold us a beer. And we're walking at like 3 p.m, drinking a beer on Bourbon Street. And a cop is on the corner. And we're like, we're about to get arrested. Cop looks at us, just goes, keep walking. Just keep walking. Not even.
Hey, man. It's a different place. If you haven't experienced, we used to be the home of spring break because remember when the country changed the drinking age to 21, New Orleans said we make more money from liquor.
Yep, you could drink at 14. You could. 14? I mean, there was you're supposed to be 18 to get into a bar, but then they didn't card you at the bar. So, but then if you just go up to like a window or a grocery store.
Hey, when I was like 10 or 11, well, let me see, I was 13. In order to go golfing with my uncle, I had to go to the early mass with my grandfather.
That vigil?
At 6:45. 6:45 in the morning.
Well, that was 6:45. 30 minutes.
That 6:45 mass is quick.
I like that.
Because look, game time is like the midday mass. That's when they take all day. But you go to them early ones, in and out, right? Yep. And on the way home, he give me a $5 bill, run to the corner store, get me a fifth of old granddad. And I just throw it up there, right? They hand me a bottle in a bag and leave. No questions asked, no nothing.
You didn't need a letter. You didn't need
a letter. You ain't need nothing. For all he knew, you could be standing on the corner drinking that yourself. Then when we were in high school, I never had a problem. See, Marcos, I never had a problem because I had a mustache.
Gotcha.
But some of my younger, friends, they, look kind of young. So we would go up in the club. We was in high school. We go, to go into like every place has like 37 daiquiri places. So you either get a daiquiri, you get a hurricane. That's your little sipping juice to walk around juice, right? Yeah, you just something to get you going, get the juices flowing, right? You may even share it because some of them are pretty strong or what have you.
Your little head freeze.
Yep. We go into the thing, and my man says, hey, you can go. I'm in. You guys look kind of young. Here's the kicker. Here's New Orleans at its finest, right? Hey, right next door, they sell fake IDs for $10.
Oh yeah.
For
a couple of years, I was from Long Branch, New Jersey. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh. You think? Look, when you watch Superbad, with McLovin, it was like a big thing. No, in New Orleans, it was like right next IDs.
Yeah.
Right? Just a sign that say IDs right next to the club.
What do they sell them as, like joke IDs or like?
Yeah. They sell them as like they have a sign that say these are not to be used for driving.
Right.
However, if you need to get the club next door, they work.
$10. Boom.
Boom. You in there. So whenever you went drinking, you had to bring Either you save your ID. Now, here's the kicker. You had to throw that ID away because you ain't want to bring that ID in your house, right? Because, well, New Orleans may play.
Stash.
New Orleans may play. Mom and dad don't play.
No.
Right?
Big Lynn don't like that, man. Big Lynn. Woo,
Right.
couldn't hide
So,
nothing from her.
So $10 every time though, Leroy.
yeah, or here's what we had. We had a stash guy. Because only, in New Orleans, nobody drove. Everybody took city transportation. You didn't drive. I didn't drive my first car. Like, I had a license, but I didn't drive my first car until I got drafted.
Yeah, I was gonna say every day of high school, my mom or my best friend's mom drove us to school. We never had a car drove.
Right. Because that's just how it was. City transportation. Everybody took city transportation.
Yeah.
So we had one guy who had a car. And back in the day, you ain't have a seatbelt law. You could jam as many people as you wanted in the car or in the back of a pickup. Where like you be driving down I-10 and it'd be a whole baseball team in the back of a pickup holding on. Like going seven. Right? Like do it like little dogs. I do it like we ate holding on to the back. Dude, New Orleans is crazy. But we had a stash guy.
No,
so we had one guy with a car, right? And we had a spot in the car where we would all keep our IDs. So yeah.
Hold on to that.
Huh?
Tell them to hold on to that. Well, the Panthers, they did lose 6-3 last night. The Flyers scored 4 in the second period. But the good thing was, if there's a good thing, silver lining, the Cats were missing Sergei Bobrovsky for rest, Anthony Duclair for illness, and Sam Bennett with a small injury.
All right.
So not a true loss.
No.
You had what you had. So everybody in hockey count that as a loss except you.
Yeah.
That's not a true loss.
Tell them when it comes playoff time. Hey guys, that wasn't. Wait, what about that?
For sure.
What
Remember
about
that
game against
one
the Flyers?
Game? Correct.
Just a break. All right, we're going to take a break right now. We're going to come back, get some 15 minutes of heat for you on Hate Week here on the Tobin and Leroy Show, 560 WQAM. Can we dream the impossible? Well, not impossible, but the improbable dream this hate week, winning all 4 games and the Miami Heat moving up, not just to 6, but possibly 5th place in the East. Is it possible, Leroy, although improbable? Yes. Is that a yes?
You kind of blanked out a little bit. I would say
improbable, but is it possible? Is it
yes,
a possibility?
Yes, I think that's the frustrating thing about this team this year.
Do it.
Is that we've seen what they have done, but we also know what they can do. And they've not gotten to that point yet. And that's the thing that, you see moments. I mean, they'll play a half of basketball where they just look dominant and be up 20, and then going into the fourth quarter, it's a tie game. Or going into the fourth quarter, they're up by 3. And it becomes a barn burner. And Spo kind of alluded to that every game is close.
The 39 games this season, almost a record of games,
right?
Single-digit wins,
right? And so from that standpoint, it's nerve-wracking. So like I said, this Heat team is a team that can beat anybody in the NBA on any day. I don't care who it is. It could be Milwaukee, it could be Boston, it could be Philly, it could be Denver. It does not matter. They can beat anybody. But then they lose to the Orlandos, the Oklahoma Cities, the Houstons, and that's the thing that makes it frustrating. Every team loses 1 or 2 of those games.
Yeah.
But the Heat have had an unbelievable large amount of losses where, like, this team is trying to lose, and you go in there and lose by 20. So I can't explain it, and that's probably the frustrating thing for. I mean, hell, I think the players are frustrated because it kind of sneaks up on you, right? Like, first it becomes 1 turnover, then another one. The other team goes out and makes 2 threes, of course. They ain't going to make layups. They're going to make 2 threes, right? Then you have a bad play or a bad call. Then they make another. Next thing you know, you're down by 9, and you really haven't done anything different. That's where the season is, man. So can they do it? Absolutely. I have no questions in my mind whether they can go on a run or not. I just, the realist in me says I haven't seen it. So if I'm hoping for it, I'm doing it from a fan perspective and not a realist perspective.
That's what I'm saying. As a realist, though, if they do it and win these 4 games, have the Heat figured things out, and now they're ready to make a big playoff push? Or is it just one of those things, they got 4 wins and they're going to revert back to the mean?
No, I've been waiting for it. I mean, a week of good basketball. A week here. To me, seeing a week of good basketball has nothing to do with wins or losses. I mean, people just think that good basketball comes with winning. And I would say this: if they play sound defense, if they move the ball offensively, get open shots, and lose because they don't make the shots, I can deal with that. What I can't deal with is getting out rebounded by 20, having 20 plus turnovers, and then shooting bricks. Like, that's not a good that's what's happened when this team has looked bad.
Any cause for concern too with Tyler Herro, who the first 3 quarters is dormant, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter lights it up?
I think he's just trying to find his spots. Like, I'm gonna give him a break from this perspective, this aspect. It's a different game when you come off the bench and you are the guy. You're Jimmy Butler of the second unit. You can go do whatever the hell you want. Then you come in and now you're playing a substantial amount of time with Jimmy and Bam. Okay? Those are the 2 guys. So how do you fit in? And I think a lot of times when we've seen players struggle with this, Spo and all the other players say, do you. That's going to help us win. Just do you. And sometimes it's It's just that whole process. It maybe is taking a little bit longer, but I understand it. I understand, like we call you. I got a name for it. Chris Bosh syndrome. Remember how timid Chris Bosh was when he first got to the Heat?
Mhm.
Because he was with LeBron and D Wade, and finally LeBron and D Wade said, "Shoot the ball." And then when he started being more aggressive, that team really, made that move. And I think Tyler has to do the same thing because, look, Jimmy's an excellent scorer, right? He scores a ball, he gets to the foul line or whatever. But the best scorer on the Heat is Tyler Herro. He is the best scorer.
Yes.
You see what I mean? So if he's not being aggressive, then the Heat aren't getting the best version of Tyler Herro.
The reason I have some concern about him lighting it up just in the fourth quarter, that you start getting in the playoffs, things start tightening up, and teams start scheming against that. All of a sudden, you have 3 bad quarters. That fourth quarter isn't a given. They might lock you down. The next thing you know, these points that you're expecting from Tyler Herro maybe won't be as easy to come by.
But I look at it like this. The more pressure Tyler Herro puts on the defense, the better that makes Bam, the better that makes Jimmy, the better that makes Strus, the better it makes 3-point shooters. And so from that standpoint, like, that's why I want him to be aggressive, because him handling the ball and being aggressive creates for others.
Mm-hmm.
And when he doesn't, and they just have, you ever watch a Heat game and they just seem to pass it around the perimeter? Yeah. Nobody does it. They pass around the perimeter till 5 seconds left, and somebody chucks up a 3 or then gets
or they look at Jimmy to drive.
Right, exactly.
I've seen that all season long. Pass, maybe a little dribble here or there, and doesn't look like they're doing anything. And then, there's 5 seconds left. Jimmy's like, give me the ball. Give me the ball.
You know what my most hated thing in basketball is? When the point guard dribbles underneath the basket all the way through.
Oh, you don't like? I like that.
He hates that.
Why do you hate that?
Because the goal is right there.
It loosens up the defense, man.
No, it doesn't. Leroy, they'll get blocked. You never been blocked before? You must have never been blocked before.
What? Dude.
You were the biggest. That's why. You've never been blocked before.
No. First of all, I've gotten up on several occasions sucking my thumb seeing Spotlight. So we understand who you talking to. Right? Of course I've been. But the thing is that you can't let a body be a deterrent. You see what I'm saying? Like, at no point, and this is, football's different, but at no point in my career have I ever thought I can't go there because he's there. Because when you have the football, even if somebody's there, I'm always with the attitude, now, what is he going to do? Because he got to stop me. Right? I'm going to put the pressure on him. And if you keep putting the pressure on him, we'll see how tough he is. Because keep in mind, a defender is standing still in a lot of situations. You are not. So you can pound the spirit out of him if you just keep being aggressive. And that's what I would like. I would like Tyler not to be more aggressive to score more, but to me, be more aggressive to put that constant pressure on the defense so that in the fourth quarter, he'll have more opportunities to score because he's facilitated. He's put pressure on the defense. They can't just go out there and guard him a certain way.
I do feel as though you're right about that. Tyler Herro, and sometimes this Heat team in general, kind of let the defense off the hook. Like, Tyler Herro will kind of be aggressive, but not. He'll take like 2 dribbles, then a pull-up fadeaway mid-range jumper.
Right.
And it's like,
remember last year with Tobin talking about how swole Tyler Herro got, and Tyler Herro was saying, I got swole so I could attack and take the hits. What happened? Because he ain't going in. He ain't going in there as aggressively.
Yeah, I do wish it was. He's got to eat more rice. Chipotle. He needs to go to Chipotle more, for sure.
So he could be built like you.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, he drive a little bit more. I'll tell you what.
He drive one of them scooters, though. I'm talking about him using his own legs to drive.
One of them public scooters.
As a defender, you tell me and I would say Tyler Herro is elite scorer in the league, but you're the best scorer on the team. If I have to defend you, and I'd get told, well, most of the game, all he's going to do is give you like a dribble fake and then a mid-range jumper fadeaway. I'll take that every day. I'll figure I can defend that
Right.
enough.
You
Even
have
if
to
I don't
put
defend it
pressure.
that much.
You have to put pressure. Somebody, wait, let me put it this way. Somebody else other than Jimmy and Bam have to put pressure on the defense to take that pressure off Jimmy and Bam. You see what I mean? Because a lot of times when the ball goes to Jimmy and Bam, there's 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
that's there.
right. And I think Tyler could probably create, you know, a little more, put a little more pressure on the defense and create more open shots for Strus, more open shots for whoever's shooting the three, and go from there. Like, where do we? I mean, K Love, you know where he gonna be, right? You can put pressure on him. We don't even need to look. Throw it out there to the corner.
Yep.
You know, K Love gonna be there. That's what his role is.
But
But if you never put pressure on him, they just kind of stand out there by him, and he's not open.
It's kind of like in football, like I say that, yeah, they dilly-dally around until there's 5 seconds on the clock, then they hand it to Jimmy and Bam to do something with it. It's like you, Leroy.
Right.
First, second down, we're going to pass. Oh, we don't get it. It's 3rd and 10. Let's go to the power I formation with no wide receivers. And Leroy, we need you to pick this first down up, and we know how good you are with more than 3 yards. You got to put people in a spot to succeed, and I think sometimes he kind of don't do that.
I mean, but here's the thing about basketball. The players have more control over a lot of stuff that goes on the court. And one thing that Spo is looking for the continuity, for the movement on offense, for the help on defense. And a lot of times that's what he gets upset about. It's not that actual who determines how we're going to do it on the court. And basketball is unique in that way, in that your coach may call a play, but your point guard has to facilitate and do what he thinks is the best way to go about it, because sometimes they could block it off. That don't mean you stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just, Kyle does it periodically. Kyle does it periodically to where you ever go, ooh, Kyle's being very aggressive, right? Making things happen in the paint, facilitating from the paint, assist and putting pressure on the defense. Kyle has done that. I think now Tyler, in order for this team to be the best version of itself, can't have 5-10 seconds left, throw it to Jimmy and Bam.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they need somebody else to put pressure on the defense early on in the shot clock to relieve some of that pressure off Jimmy and Bam, so that it makes them even more even more successful, because they don't get it. They get it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it's true right there. It's not always about the X's and O's. It's about the Jims and Joes, and that is your 15 minutes of Heat. And Heat season, it might be winding down, but we want to get you to a game. We've got a pair of tickets for you to see the Heat host the Mavs Saturday, April 1st. Keep listening later on today for your chance to win. Up next, we got to get into some NIL action and find out Leroy's NIL action retrograde, how he would have done, what would he have done, and how much he would have made here on 560 WQAM.
Panthers and Heat
Not gonna lie, this is the Tobin and Leroy show. Girls is players too. Those Cavender twins, those NIL deals keeps getting more and more interesting, more and more wrinkles to these NIL deals. And now, oh goodness gracious, it is getting absolutely crazy. But recently, legend in the game, Tom Izzo, the other Michigan University's head coach of basketball, Michigan State, the other guys, East Lansing, he recently was asked about NIL deals, and he said this.
I just worry what money usually does to people. There's a downside to it. With some of these rumors you're hearing on these football quarterbacks and that, I question whether that's sustainable and what it'll do to the kid, because 1% of these football and basketball players is going to make it to the league. The rest of them, when the ball stops bouncing, what do? I worry what we're doing to the players or the kids themselves.
If I may.
I'm pissed off.
If I may. It's even more reason to take NIL.
Yes.
Because if that's going to be the extent of your football career, you might as well get some money out of it. Okay. But here's the more pressing issue. This is the NCAA's fault. Because you fought it for so long when you could have introduced it. You could have introduced it so that you had control of it. And now it's willy-nilly and you can't do anything about it. So what I would say is this. Think about this. The Cavender twins would be making money without basketball.
They make money without basketball.
The fact that they are playing basketball, you should not be able to take away from what they could do outside of basketball. So whatever NIL deals they get are well-deserved based on how they
market themselves
before they even started playing basketball.
Right.
There's some people like that. For example, Arch Manning. All I got to say to you is Manning. He going to get a big NIL deal. I'm sorry, Uncle Peyton and Uncle Eli.
Grandpa Archie.
Right. So just from you saying to your people, your fan base, we have a Manning, automatically brings money to your institution. Now, I will say this. Those are unique situations. I would like to see this, that to what Tom Izzo is saying, it is hard to determine what college players are going to be NFL players. I agree. But you cannot get NIL in a lot of cases before you've played it down. Like NIL is name, image, and likeness. You don't have name, image, and likeness at that university if you ain't playing.
Yeah, you do. Leonard Fournette, before he ever played it down at LSU, had his name, image, and likeness.
Okay, but we're not talking about the 1%ers. Okay, that's why I named a couple. That's why I named a couple of people. That's why I named Arch and the Cavender twin. There's certain guys. For example, a guy who's going to be one and done anyway, right? Why not give him $5 million and see if he can stay another year? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of kids that are getting NIL. Let's not forget, all these people getting NIL ain't going to be players. It's hard to tell. And they don't have name. There's like, when I went to Michigan, when I left Louisiana and went to Michigan, right? Mm-hmm. If they had the greatest NIL in the world, nobody knew who the hell I was in Michigan, except the coaching staff and me. But then I started playing. Then everybody in Michigan knew who I was. Everybody in the Big Ten knew who I was. So what I'm saying is that NIL, to offer kids NIL just to come to your school, I think is a bit of a reach. But because the NCAA didn't do anything about it, now they can't control it.
Right. This is my thing with Tom Izzo that I want to get to. he's saying, oh, well, about these guys, you pay them, and what if they don't turn out to be pros and all that stuff? It's like having a student job. Now I'm starting to worry about kids that are going to school there. Well, maybe they shouldn't have jobs because we don't know what they're going to do on the outside when they graduate. So why don't we look at it like this? If you're a quarterback at Fresno State and you get an NIL deal, it's like having a job while you're a student.
Right.
If they don't make it to the pros, they're gonna adjust. We all adjusted as we got out of college. So for him to say that is ridiculous, because if you're just a student, basically he's saying, well, I'm scared if they get a job at I'm trying to think of somewhere, Izzo's, or I call it Izzo's, or taco stand. Well, when they graduate, I mean, what are they gonna do? It's like to me, it's a selfish look for Tom.
Here's what I would also say. A lot of people don't know this. There's an NCAA rule out there that if you are a scholarship athlete, you can't have a job during your season.
During the season, yeah, because we had
so think about this. Well, it's during school, so I couldn't have a job in January or whatever. Yeah, but think about this. When I went to Michigan with $50 in my pocket, no coat, no clothes.
No coat.
No coat. No. Why would I need a coat in New Orleans? Right? So I have relatives in Detroit that helped me out. But when you think about that, everybody is going to college under different circumstances. We see these stories all the time about these small towns that these kids are from. What do you think they're going to school with? And so from that standpoint, yeah, I get what you're saying. I understand it firsthand that the only time I could have a job is in the off season, right? And what 18 or 19-year-old saving his money so he can spend it during the season when he get that check in the off season, right? It's just, that's the nature of college, right? So I get it. I understand it. I just think that, there has to be, and this is to protect everybody, right? Because I don't want a kid come into a university saying, not when am I going to play, not what are my chances of contributing, but how much NIL, like the wrong
Jaden Rashada.
It's the wrong mentality to go and think about this. Everybody would have been excited to get Rashada, right? Excited to get him. But do you want a guy in your program that's his first thought and it's not about football? You see what I'm saying? How much am I getting? Because at what point, if the coach says, well, we're going to start this guy over you,
that's why
and you say, I don't care, I got my NIL.
Yeah, that's why I don't miss him, because he seemed like he was all in for the money, not all in for the U or all in for the Gators or all in for anybody. It just seemed like
to play.
Who's going to pay me more?
Right. And so that's the problem you're getting at. Now, there are exceptions to all these rules. I named two of them. The Cavender twins, they would be making cheese without the University of Miami.
Yeah, that's secondary. And I want to get into the Cavender. We haven't even touched on what the Cavender twins did that has kind of raised some eyebrows. We're going to talk about that next here on the Tobin and Leroy Show, 560 WQAM.
Our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Valoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Chris Sims can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback. Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of food.
Our Tua on the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miami Dolphins remain committed to Tua Tagovailoa being quarterback one. I do want to talk about the Cavanagh twins. Entrepreneurs, influencers, basketball players.
Hoopers.
In that order.
Yep.
So
Did you see what they did, though?
no,
Oh,
I know he signed a NIL deal with
Cactus AI. Cactus AI. They've signed an NIL deal yesterday with Cactus AI. Do you know what Cactus AI does?
I do not.
Depending on who you ask, you basically, if you have a term paper to write, you go in, type in your keywords, kind of what you want, and it writes a term paper for you, college students.
Oh.
Now, this is where it gets even more tricky. LSU, my alma mater, last year warned student athletes, do not deal with Cactus AI. You are treading on plagiarism. So they've kind of warned them, stay away. Notre Dame's kicker, he actually did an NIL deal with Cactus AI and got in trouble with the school and was kind of brought up in terms of plagiarism. Now everybody's saying, is this one of those things that maybe NIL deals shouldn't be allowed to do with the Cactus AI writing people's term papers in college? And now they're quote unquote saying the Cavanagh twins are promoting plagiarism, Leroy.
So is that any different than a stadium with 100,000 people selling beer when most of your students are underage?
Yep. You can't do an NIL deal with alcohol because, of course, if an 18-year-old that was going to drink anyway sees Tyler Van Dyke promoting Truly, they're going to decide to drink.
But here's the deal: you like take alcohol out of a stadium, right?
People still going to drink.
Like you here, I understand that this hinders education, right?
Yeah.
The purpose of going to college is to actually learn something, not to drink and party, right? And it kind of hinders that when you think a bunch of kids have, now here's the kicker. If you're a professor and you have your graduate assistants, all you got to do is go to the same website,
type in
punch in the same keywords, and then see which of your students is writing that term paper like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because all you got to do is warn them, hey guys, we have Cactus AI too. So if we see any of your papers that even resemble that, you're failing. What it forces them to do is this. Now they got to actually read the paper, and change some information in it, thus doing the paper themselves.
Only problem is you can't exactly prove they use Cactus AI. They can just deny.
Try again. Come on, dude.
In a court of law, I'm talking about.
And wait,
keywords.
How about this? In high school, the teachers use a program that identifies plagiarism. So they plug your paper through that. And the teachers don't even determine it. It's a computer.
So students would have to agree in the syllabus or whatever that if there is suspected plagiarism.
No, they don't even read the paper. If the website that they put it in determines, like, gives you a plagiarism grade, then they just pass it on. They don't read the paper. And so it's crazy because here's the thing.
It's not plagiarism, though.
When you write a paper, aren't the facts of what you're writing about gonna cross?
For sure.
I mean,
And let's be clear. You know, if somebody wrote that paper, or it's way too professional.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need a computer to figure that out. Right? You don't need, teachers know when mommy wrote the paper.
Yeah.
But it's not plagiarism, though. It's not copying another product. It's creating something new, completely new, that can't be found elsewhere.
Okay, see.
Whose work am I taking?
You are the master of the sample. That's why. You Pete Diddy. Pete Diddy would have never made it through who was a Cactus AI.
Yep. You just got to switch the baseline.
Leroy, doesn't this get back to the NCAA just kind of not building the right foundation and just willy-nilly like, okay, here's NIL. Oh, no, wait, there's something. All these roadblocks. What?
The two are kind of different because once you agree to NIL and you haven't had a grasp of it, now it's hard to go back and all of a sudden rein it in. And this is the problem that I've had with the NCAA, and all the things that you hear about NIL is on the NCAA, because instead of trying to come up with a plan, they fought it. And then somebody outside of the NCAA in California decided, no, this is how it's going to be done. You can get NIL deals. And now when California did it, all the other states have to do it. Otherwise, all your kids are going to go out to college in California. So that's how they got around the rules of the NCAA.
It's just the NCAA spent all their energy and efforts fighting it as opposed to
coming up with a solution and a way of doing it. And they could have very well done it.
Yeah.
So wait.
No, because the NCAA wanted to make, and it comes down to money. That's what the NCAA wanted. They wanted money. And for years, they took advantage of these college athletes, and they fought it as much as they could. And now the tables are starting to turn, and the NCAA is trying to say,
here's the deal. Here's the deal. See, it's almost disrespectful to what has happened to these kids. Because I know when I was in Michigan, I saw a bunch of 33 jerseys. I knew it was me. But they didn't put my name on the back.
Right. And then they got video games. You know who
right.
you are.
And then
I knew
think about this.
Game,
there's certain schools that didn't even have names on the back.
Oh, good job.
So the only way you could associate that number was if you knew the player. So I'm not mad. I just, for the purposes of having it be sustainable for the long term, the NCAA should have done something about it, because now it's going to get to the point. So let me ask you this. You have a lot of boosters with these NIL deals. What if that guy ain't playing? Like, hey, I ain't giving NIL to a buster. Like, you were supposed to be this, and this. You ain't playing. No more NIL. Right? What about the kids that now are transferring like crazy? Like the coach from Ohio talk about. Meanwhile, didn't he leave to go to Iona?
No. That's our guy from Fairleigh Dickinson.
Fairleigh Dickinson, not the Ohio guy. Okay.
No, the Ohio guy's too busy crying about Miami having $800,000 and it only buying them one NCAA tournament win, which
right.
And we are also one more than one game in the.
Well, don't be mad, because guess what? Let's keep it real. A guy transferring from Ohio and going to Miami, right, is not that big of a deal. If he had transferred from Ohio and went to Kentucky, to Duke, because to the Blue Bloods, to the established, you see what I mean? So transferring and going to Miami is a step up. Now, they've done better than these other schools recently, but when I say I'm going to play basketball at Miami, you don't get the same feel as if I say I'm going to Kentucky or Duke. So why is he treating Miami like they're Kentucky or Duke.
He's also making it sound like Miami is pillaging like Kentucky and Duke. Norchad O'Meara played at Arkansas State last.
Right.
It's not like
He's going to
all these great players. We got players from smaller schools. It's not
he's
like
going to a bigger school.
Yeah.
Right. And so like I don't understand. I don't understand how he's upset about March Madness commercials have a lot of college players, and you are absolutely correct. And guess what? Good.
Yeah.
Aren't you like, instead of seeing player A, right? To actually learn to see some of these kids and their personalities and them getting a little money for it. You know what makes March Madness? The players.
Yeah, nobody.
The players from those small schools.
Nobody wants to watch a commercial with Mark Emmert's stiff ass in it. We'll see some players in there. Leroy, stand up and check us out some weather while I read this. Weather from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7 at 866-954-MORE. What's our weather looking like? Meteorologist or one of the meteorologists, Leroy Horde.
Partly cloudy skies. Winds are, man, still can't see these clouds. Look like they're coming from the east, maybe southeast. And the winds it's strong winds, like 15 miles an hour. But it's partly cloudy. It's a little more cloudy than it was the last few days. Temperature is probably a little bit warmer. I'm going to say right around 75 degrees.
Touch the glass.
I did.
Okay, good.
I did. I would say 75, 80. I'm going to give you a 5 degree.
Yeah, I understand that. That's fair.
What
did I
direction
do,
you say
Marcos?
wind was coming out of?
Maybe southeast.
I said the east, southeast.
Oof. Okay,
those are
so
some good ones.
you said 75 to 80. It is 80. You said partly cloudy. It is partly cloudy. You said winds were high. They're at 16 miles per hour.
This
Coming
was
out of the east.
Yeah.
15. There you go, man.
Well, because here's why. The front of my house faces the east. So I know when planes come in and land, but it's not directly east. So sometimes that's why I threw a little southeast in there, because it's not going right over my house. It's kind of going on an angle, but that could be right out of the east because my house is not perfectly facing east.
Okay. Let's get to the headlines from the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
The Marlins continue spring training today at 1 against the Cardinals. Hopefully they don't lose 16-2 like they have the past couple of weeks. A week from tomorrow, opening day against the Mets at Lone Depot Park.
It's been a while since they opened up at home.
I know.
Yeah.
Lone Depot Park was rocking last night, though. Shohei Ohtani, he struck out his teammate on the Angels, Mike Trout, as Japan won the World Baseball Classic over the U.S. 3-2.
I remember when Mark McGwire was chasing a home run, and who's Michael Jackson, the baseball player?
Sammy Sosa?
Sammy Sosa. And
oh, yeah, that's right. He looks weird nowadays.
Yeah, he looks white. Barry Bonds.
Oh, that's great.
Right. Like that was amazing. And that was must-see TV.
Mm-hmm.
But Shohei Ohtani is must-see TV. I mean, like, since Babe Ruth, is there a guy that can hit a home run and strike out the side?
No.
Right.
He is a modern day Babe Ruth. And that's not over exaggeration. He is a modern day Babe Ruth.
I mean, yeah.
I want whatever he's doing, pitching, pinch running, hitting. I want to see it.
Must-see TV. Must-see TV. Seems like he has awesome personality. Everybody seems to like him, right? I mean, here's what I'm interested at. Is he going to be the first $500 million deal?
Pay that man.
Well, he ain't going to play where he is. He got to go somewhere else.
There's only 3 teams that are in the running for that.
The Dodgers.
Yes, 1.
The Yankees.
That's 2.
The Mets would do it.
Maybe.
Who else on the West Coast?
Red Sox.
The Red Sox.
They'll pay you anything.
San Diego, they throwing out a boatload of money too. They got 2 players they get $300 million contracts to.
Pay those men. Once again, no one goes to the stadium to watch owners. We go to watch players. Pay those people. I didn't watch Art Modell. I watched Leroy Horde. That's true.
Hey, by the way, he wasn't there. He wasn't there.
Just saying. The Flyers, they scored 4 in the second period to help them down the Panthers 6-3 last night. The Cats were missing Sergei Bobrovsky, Anthony Duclair, and Sam Bennett. Florida, they're going to host the Maple Leafs tomorrow at 7. I do want to make mention of this. Nick Great Willis Reed passed away at 80 yesterday. He led New York to its only 2 championships, and he was league MVP in 1970.
You guys weren't even alive.
I've seen the video. It
Not
still
even
gives me
close.
goosebumps, man.
Him limping back out on the floor.
Yeah. That thigh issue, man.
We call that. You know what? We've remixed it. We call it the Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce is the only guy I know used to go out on the chair, and then 25 minutes later come back out. The crowd would be yelling.
Willis Reed, he was country strong too.
Yeah, but he ain't. You know what? We remember though that first bucket. That was it.
Yeah, they took him out pretty much after that.
Right. Emotional spark.
I was gonna say it was the energy though, Leroy.
You get he's a Louisiana guy. He ain't gonna miss out. He's gonna go out there. And I saw that. If you saw the 30 for 30, they were talking to Jerry West, and it was like, I don't know what Wilt Chamberlain was thinking. Who knows what Wilt was ever thinking? But when you got a guy that can't move, why do you back off of him and let him shoot?
Right. Yeah.
What? Hits that shot, goes on to win the championship. But R.I.P. Willis Reed. Do you think the Knicks get a little bit of a emotional push from that tonight, or is that just one of those things?
No.
Okay.
They know who Willis Reed is, but the only reason why they know him because they ain't done nothing since.
Okay.
Right?
When you say they haven't done anything since, I mean, they have been to the NBA Finals. They made some runs here and there, but yeah. But maybe he's around the program. Every year, you get to know some of the former players, like most programs, and maybe
I would say
guys had developed a relationship with him and go out there and win one for Willis Reed.
I didn't think this was a big deal when I was doing it, but now that I look back, it was pretty cool. Every Monday for home games, weather permitting, me and Jim Brown would go golf, and we'd have the whole golf course to ourselves. Yeah.
Wow. I'm getting excited just hearing that.
Yeah. And we just chit chat, talk. You know what I mean? He's a down to earth dude. He tell it like it is. Ain't a whole bunch of BS, but he likes, he enjoyed golf. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I got a chance to actually have conversations and talk about past football and how is it different now and stuff like that. But I used to always tell him, you're supposed to be the best. You weighed more than most of your linemen. Like, come on, dude. You was fast as a running back. You were tough as a linebacker, and you were bigger than your offensive lineman. Who tackling you? Who tackling you?
Probably
you quit football. You retired football because you just got tired. You're just tired of just destroying folks.
Was his best movie "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker"?
With the big toe?
Yeah,
he was on what's the seven
Dirty Dozen.
Magnificent Seven, or was it Dirty Dozen? I always
get
them two mixed up.
I think it's Dirty Dozen.
Dirty Dozen.
I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, so good, man.
Yeah.
That's my bunion. Don't touch my bunion.
With his big toe throbbing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a movie. Speaking of, up next, we're going to get into Marcos's bag, a mixed bag. Oh, that's going to be some fun here on 560 WQAM.
Panthers and Heat.
Marcos is on fire today. That's my girl, Big Frida, right there, and Beyonce. We'll talk about that later. Big Frida, love Big Frida. New Orleans bounce queen. But Marcos also got some tickets up his shoulder, up his sleeve.
My shoulder.
We're going to be giving you a chance later on today to win some Heat and Mavs tickets for their game.
Got a new one.
Yeah, I thought I heard that. Whoa. What flavor is this? Is that
grapefruit? Grapefruit.
Okay.
I made a mistake. Let me tell you, I like some people don't like the carbonation, and I accidentally grabbed one that wasn't carbonated.
Yeah.
That ain't my thing, dude.
That's gross, actually.
That's not my thing. Some people like because they do it with tea. They have, like Celsius, they up to about 30 flavors up there.
Oh, I've seen that tea flavor.
Yeah, so they do some flavors with green tea, but I'm not a tea drinker, so it hit me in the worst way.
Once again, we're going to get into Marcos' mixed bag in just a second, but Dave & Buster's month is back just in time for the Hoops Tournament Hysteria. We've got a chance for you to win $250 in gift cards from Dave & Buster's. Go to WQAM.com and enter on the contest page. If you win, you can go to Dave & Buster's with your gift card and have a party. All on us and Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, play, watch sports at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. Leroy, I don't know if you know this, a Dave & Buster's right before I moved away from New Orleans opened one on Poydras near the Superdome. I have been to both Poydras location and the one here in Hollywood, and the one in Hollywood's way better.
Yeah. Things in New Orleans, chains that open up in New Orleans. But I will say this. You folks are being cheated at Popeyes outside of Louisiana.
Oh, I know. It's so different.
It's so different.
So different.
I have
every morning. Think about this. Every morning I used to get that that biscuit with the fried steak.
Mm-hmm.
A fried steak breakfast sandwich, right?
Breakfast. They say breakfast.
Some of the Popeyes have daiquiris in them.
Oh, they sell beer and daiquiris.
Dude, every store you can get.
This is breeding an issue.
Hey, you talk about a place that you can say, give me 5 on 6 and a pint of Jack at your gas station.
Yeah.
Like, you know how like Publix, they have to have the liquor store separate. In New Orleans, there's an aisle, a liquor aisle. So it goes fruits and vegetables, snacks, alcohol.
And then they keep the expensive stuff behind the counter, right behind the attendant. They'll be like, you need some Courvoisier? I got you. A pint and a half. What you want?
So I'm not used like having to leave, go get a different basket and go next door to get my liquor.
Blows my mind sometimes. Oh,
I think you guys
but I got go ahead.
I think you guys have a problem.
Yeah, we do.
No, you know what? Believe it or not, because I had access to it as a kid, when I got to college, I wasn't that gun-ho like everybody else was to go to parties and stuff and get hammered. I'm like, yeah, man, been there, done that. I'm here to do what I got to do.
I do ask you this, Leroy. When you get that fried chicken, did you always buy the jalapeno pepper with it? So you get a bite of chicken.
No. Wait. Woo! Churches.
Yeah, that's where churches do that.
Churches
have enough money.
Hey, listen, churches, like, I don't know, you might see one that churches was always in the hood. First of all, I don't know why. I don't know why. Churches is from Texas, isn't it?
Because when you can't afford Popeyes, you go to churches. You got
on some. But here's what you do: give me a 3-piece and 2 peppers, and they're reaching there and with the tongs and put it in a
little paper bag too, like it's all soaked up.
Yeah. Oh man, it used to look because you wanted the spice that you got with Popeyes,
but so you couldn't have it in the chicken.
By the leg, by the pepper. Yeah, by the leg, by the pepper. Make it work. You make it work.
You walk by churches, there's somebody sitting in their car. They got the pepper and the chicken. Just whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, man. Listen. You know how y'all eat pickles? That's how in New Orleans, as a kid, you would eat peppers. Jalapenos. Like pickled jalapenos are like pickles to me.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No spice.
Now, I will say this. The raw ones are hot.
Raw ones will bite you.
Yeah. Marcos, let me tell you a story. Let me tell all y'all a story. My grandmother used to grow peppers in her yard, right? The little bitty peppers, they had red, green, yellow, and orange, right? Here's the deal. Whenever she went to pick those peppers, she had to go out there in an hazmat suit.
Yeah, I was going to say she put the gloves on.
Because you couldn't get none in your eyes. You couldn't get none on your hands. And she'd take one pepper and drop it in a pot of red beans. Woo! You had spicy red beans. Wow. Like, these peppers were so hot. I'm like, man.
Those home peppers are crazy.
Yeah. Hey, look, she made home hot sauce. She used to have just a big jar pickled up with seasoning, right? She put the peppers in there and put it outside like tea for a month.
They have you go and walk it around the sun.
Yep.
Oh, it's in the shade. Go move my pepper jar. You got to go out there and put it in the sun.
Hey, man, that New Orleans living is unique to a lot of places. And you explain to people, and you say, there's no way that's real, right? Like when you talk about driving down the street with every time we went on a family trip, before my parents got divorced, right? Every time we went on a family trip, we get ready to go in the car. My dad go back inside. I forgot my drink. Yeah, sitting in that cup. Yeah, so we in the back riding around in a Thunderbird, the old school Thunderbird, with no seatbelt, because you could jam as many kids as you wanted in the back. They ain't have seatbelt laws, and my dad's sipping on some Jack in a red cup. We're not even thinking that there's something wrong with this.
Speaking of unique, let's get into Marcos's mixed bag.
All right. From the South to the Northeast. This is Kevin Garnett. Recently, he appeared on the Kevin Hart show, Cold as Balls. Not sure if you guys have seen it. Essentially, they get into an ice tub, an ice bath of some sort, and have conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin Garnett was asked by Kevin Hart what went into him deciding to finally end the beef with Ray Allen. As we all know, once Ray Allen decided to come to the heated rival of the Celtics during that era, the Miami Heat, KG and Paul Pierce were all in their feelings for an extended period of time until most recently when that NBA top 75 players list came out. They were seen sharing a moment together and have since reconciled whatever differences. This is Kevin Garnett on the show. I just want your opinion on what you feel here on KG ending the beef with Ray Allen.
You and Ray had a difficulty at one point, but recently the NBA put together their top 75. And there's a moment after where a conversation is had. What tapped into the grown man, Kevin Garnett, to say, do we keep it as a thing or do we solve the thing?
What made the Ray situation so prolific with us is because the structure we built in Boston, the three of us built that. So if it was one team that we had an issue with, it was Miami. I wasn't looking at better business decision for Ray. Mm-hmm. Ray has a chance to get another ring. I didn't take on none of that. I was in my own feelings. So I was super competitive. Anybody know me like that. The passing of Cove and all of us getting older helped me understand that life is not given to none of us.
Absolutely.
It would have with me if something would have happened to Ray and I didn't get a chance to amend this. I was competitive when we was competitive. And you know what? I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you. I got off what I was on. Mm-hmm. I got off the bullshit. It was actually natural just to see him there in great health. Mm-hmm. I seen a little Ray. I seen all his family. They were all bigger, older, doing new things. So it was dope to see that. And that's what my focus was.
If I may,
please.
Here's what pisses me off about that. You guys realize that when Ray came to Miami, Boston didn't really want him. Boston didn't want to pay him. Boston wanted him to take a deal. Right? So it wasn't just Ray saying and the way KG made it sound like, oh, he dumping him for a better business decision. That wasn't the entire story, and that's what pissed me off about it. What pissed me off about it is that Boston played a role in that they didn't want to pay Ray Allen. So Ray Allen went somewhere else, and everybody got mad at him because he wouldn't stay and take what Boston was offering. So that's the only thing that got to me. Now, I get the whole part about going to a rival or whatever. We felt that way when Jason Taylor went to the Jets. But you can't be mad at Jason Taylor because basically Bill Parcells told him to take a hike. Now we're going to be bad at them and we say, oh, we would rather you not play football or not play basketball rather than go to our rival. How you know he said, you know what, I'm going to choose a rival so we could play y'all and I could show you what I'm about. So, nah, I ain't buying it. I get it.
Yeah, I like that.
I understand where he's coming from, but the most important thing he said was, I had to get over my stuff. It wasn't about Ray. It was about Kevin Garnett. He had the problem. It wasn't on Ray. So you carried that beef around for years because you was up in your feelings.
He recognized it though, and that's the thing. He let bygones be bygones. He said, "I was just competitive." It's okay to be competitive and get angry, but I think KG kind of took it to another level. And like you said, maybe a little wrong for the level he took it to.
Yeah, but like we do that all the time. Like as fans, we see our player go to another team or go somewhere else and play. We get mad at that player. We don't know what the dynamics were with the team he left. Maybe, I say all the time, hey, you ever thought? We had this conversation a month or so ago about Goran Dragic. I say, hey man, what? Tobin's like, we got to get going. We got to get going. I say, you ever thought maybe the Heat don't want him? Like, we never consider reasons why guys go somewhere else. We always just assume they had a choice. And that's not the case.
So true. Marcos, what you got? What else you got?
So I'm going to paint the picture. The best player in the world and the best player in America, head to head, all the marbles, everything on the line. And this is how it played out.
Ohtani's ready. Trout's ready. 3-2. He struck him out. Ohtani strikes out Trout, and Japan's back on top of the baseball world.
I mean, that environment to see Shohei Ohtani face Mike Trout had to be unbelievable.
Think about
a lifetime. Right?
Think about it. The best player we have right now in baseball versus probably the best player of this generation facing off on the biggest stage for all the marbles.
It's not an all-star game. It means something.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he bringing that cheese. He ain't bringing that all-star cheese.
Both players were very vocal about how much this World Baseball Classic meant to them, their country, and just everybody else. They were very vocal about how much they wanted to play and how much they wanted to win for their country.
I tell you what, it is to have it in your own backyard and to hear people talking about it. We were getting updates from Robbie. Robbie was like he was in his element. He said he loved it. It got his best ratings, even though you couldn't find it. You had to go down to the 1700s or something. And if you ever wanted something to end a certain way, it's with Shohei Ohtani facing Mike Trout, right? In the bottom of the ninth or the top of the ninth, it was. It's that's what, to me, that's what sports is, right? And you can make that situation in an all-star game, but the only way you can actually get it to mean something is with the World Baseball Classic. It's with having the World Cup. It's with all these international events that just, yeah.
I think Ohtani played the whole game too, didn't he?
Came in as a relief pitcher. I saw him warming up in the bullpen last night at one point when I was getting off of work.
That would have been great.
So he probably went from DH to man, that gives whoever has Shohei Ohtani on their team.
Yeah,
you got some things you can do, right?
So if you're missing anything, if you're missing pitching, hitting,
Right.
running, fielding, oh, Shoei, go over there. We got it. We're clear. We're good.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
Better than Babe Ruth.
I'll take that World Baseball Classic. My dude Nathan.
Yeah, because he's not fat smoking a cigarette with a beer.
That man still owned the league, man.
Yep.
He was deceptively quick and athletic too, by the way.
No,
He batted like 350.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Just because you party and have a good time doesn't make you unathletic.
No, he wasn't. No, he's built like Kung Fu Panda, dude.
I'm gonna find out his 40 time.
How did he do it? The baseball combo?
It's hard to see because when they show pictures of Babe Ruth, he's doing like the black and white. Ding, 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 ding.
Little short stepping. And like to enjoy the finer things in life. Marcos, what else you got?
I do have something else in the bag involving John Morant, but do you want to go to break?
Yeah, let's go to break. Let's come back. We can talk a little more World Baseball Classic and if it has sustainability towards Major League Baseball and maybe some other things that happen to go through our minds here on the Tobin and Leroy Show on 560 WQAM. Leroy Show, 560 WQAM. Tobin is on spring break, or he's on vacation, or he's watching his kids. He's coming back on Monday. In the meantime, it is myself, Dan Day, along with Leroy Horde, Marcos Gonzalez, and Jay Fig. Got to ask you, Leroy, estimated 70 million people in Japan watched the World Baseball Classic final last night. Of course, the ratings here in the United States have been way up this year. Does that mean that, of course, the World Baseball Classic over there at Lone Depot Park, packed every single night. It was an exciting, great atmosphere. Does that mean, though, if the Marlins go out and start putting out a really good product, you can expect Miami to be a baseball town?
I can't necessarily say that for this reason. It's something about international competition that brings people, right? Because guess what? You can mysteriously have somebody like, Brazil play another Latin American team in soccer down here at Hard Rock, and it's packed, right? It's something about international competition. Now, what I would hope, if you're a baseball fan or you're a person who's into, who owns a baseball team or whatever, you hope that having this environment to see a baseball game will interest your fans to see those players when they come to town, or see the players that were on your squad. You see what I mean? And that's the thing that I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that the interest in baseball, or the interest in these players, because there is nobody who has more draw than Shohei Ohtani, right? And Mike Trout is quiet as a church mouse. You don't hear him say nothing. So, these are the kind of things that you hope will kind of get guys to, ooh, who's coming into town? Mike Trout. Ooh, he played for so-and-so in the WBC. Things like that to get interest in baseball, to get people to the park. Now, if you get that interest and you get people in the park, and then your team is doing well, now you get more interest. But that's the only way you can start this. You can't tell people, please, baseball, don't tell people to come and watch baseball if your team sucks. Right? That's a hard thing to get into. I'm not spending $30 to go watch the other team. I'm only spending $30, $40 to see my team do well.
I agree with that. But what the World Baseball Classic maybe does is people are creatures of habit. Maybe they haven't gone to a game in a long time. Maybe they made out to one game and they're like, wow, I forgot how nice it is to go to Little Havana, to go to Lone Depot Park, to enjoy a baseball game. The kids loved running around. It was a great atmosphere. I need to go to more Marlins games. And, a percentage of those people go back and start saying, wow, I've kind of missed this. I really enjoyed this. But the main thing is you got to win. Everywhere I've ever lived, you got to win. People pack, whether it's Louisiana, whether it's California, whether it's Montana, Wyoming, whether it's Wisconsin, you got to put out a good product to get the maximum amount of people out. And that's everywhere. Some people say, oh, no, you go to, where's a place that always sells out for every single game, no matter what?
Boston.
Madison Square Garden.
But here's the other thing, Dan, and let's think of this. If you are going to be one of those teams that want to get fans to go watch the games, baseball does the worst job of promoting personalities.
Yeah, they need
right
back to Babe Ruth days.
They do the worst job of promoting personalities, to the point where a lot of these players come up through baseball and end up like Mike Trout because baseball did it to them. So every other sport has personalities. Every other sport, and baseball seems like they go out of their way to squash it.
Who's the most popular player on the Marlins?
Jazz Chisholm.
Of course. Even though Sandy Alcantara is the best player for the Marlins.
Right. He's the, if you were to say, I can follow any guy on Twitter, who would I follow based on their personality? Jazz Chisholm. Right? But that's just it. I'm
And then,
not
and
saying
then
Mike. I'm not
what
saying
he
Mike
does,
Trout.
what do you get blamed for all year? Bad in the locker room. He's all about himself. He's too showy. His own teammates, Miguel Rojas, said,
Right.
we're not doing all this anymore. Had a
Right.
conversation with him. Let the man be.
Here's the problem, though, right? How do you get interested in a sport that only has old people? You got to make the sport younger. How do you make the sport younger? You
faster.
show your personalities in the sport,
Mhm.
whether it's through Twitter, whether it's through IG, whether it's through commercials. You show that personality. You know what? If a guy tries to do a spin after he hit a home run,
That's okay.
let's not throw baseballs at him, right? Let's because here, I always say this, and I've said this before. If I'm a baseball player and you throwing the ball 100 miles an hour and I hit it 400 feet, the mariachi band gonna come out. I'm gonna have Lil Wayne, like I'm coming into a prize fight. Not because I'm downplaying you, because I'm celebrating something that's that hard to do. But we always seem to take when baseball players celebrate a home run, you showing up the pitcher. Oh, like when the pitcher hip thrusts and pumps his fist after a big strikeout?
Mm-hmm.
You see? So embrace it. Now, there are times when guys go too far, but embrace it. Embrace it. If you embraced it, you probably wouldn't be hurling baseballs at each other. Talking about that's the rules of the game. That's part of the game. That's, oh, no, he hit our guy. We got to hit your guy. Really? That doesn't do nothing for it. That don't do nothing for baseball.
No.
Nobody want to see that nonsense. But celebrating something that you've done that's extremely hard to do. How many batters batted 300?
Last year?
Right.
Probably in both leagues. In both leagues, probably 12.
Right. So you're talking about something that's failing over 70% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't celebrate finally hitting one?
Yeah, I know.
So baseball does it to himself. Baseball does it to itself. And I wish they would, instead of talking about rules, progressing the rules and speed up the game, I wish their whole mentality behind their sport would change so that we can enjoy both the game and the players.
Yeah, that's what we said. You go to the stadium to see players, and we're going to see some good things next hour. If you're watching us on Twitch or our YouTube live page, 560 WQAM, or if you're listening right here, we got you covered. We're going to get to the hashtag what's trending and also rats off a ship plus some headlines next, 560 WQAM. 560 WQAM. It is the Tobin and Leroy show, joined by Marcos and J Fig, as we usually are this hour. We're going to get to hashtag what's trending. Love doing that because we talk about the things that are trending in the world, and Leroy basically reacts and lets us know if it's something that really should be trending or shouldn't be trending.
I got one.
Uh-oh. What's up?
I got one. So, you know the whole thing with Liv and not being allowed to play on the tour.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of these qualifications for the majors are a little bit different because it's worldwide golfers, so it's rankings, it's a whole lot of other criteria. I just found out that 18 of the Liv golfers will be allowed to play in the Masters.
Okay. 18?
18 of them. So it'll be interesting to see what that interaction will be because everybody's taking such a hardline stand.
For sure.
While saying we wouldn't be making the money we're making on the PGA Tour if it wasn't for the Live Tour. While saying that.
True. Doing it for the spectators.
Yep.
Man.
That's it.
Let's get to the headlines from the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Caleb Martin and Kyle Lowry questionable for tonight's game. Cody Zeller, he remains out. Tip will be at 7:30 against the Knicks. If Miami were to win, well, look at this. The Nets, they lost last night. They would be in that 6th spot with the Nets, and they'll be playing the Nets this coming Saturday.
The Nets started off, it was a nice, oh, look at how they're playing without KD and Kyrie, and then they came back.
Big heart. Yeah, they got a big heart. Good coach. Cavanagh twins Haley and Hannah have signed a controversial NIL deal with the controversial Cactus AI company that helps students write term papers. LSU warned student athletes about getting involved with Cactus, and Notre Dame's kicker got in trouble last year for taking an NIL deal from that Cactus because it could constitute plagiarism.
All right. I mean, good luck with that. How you write the facts of a story, how much is it going to deviate? You know what I mean? How much different is it going to be? Now, I will say this. Hey, dum-dums that use this, you know damn well what a paper look like that you wrote versus a paper you did not write. So pay attention. Don't just be passing it on and say, oh, I ain't got to do it. Cactus did it for me when you don't even talk that way.
Can I go to this? Is this a website? I'm going to use this now. I'm going to type in something. I'm going to see if you can give me Leroy Hord's backstory.
Can we agree, though, Cavanagh twins, entrepreneurs, influencers, basketball players, in that order?
It's true.
I think basketball is just kind of something to do.
Just say this? They really seem to enjoy basketball, though.
She was shushing the crowd. Haley was.
She's just the crowd. And that was, look,
she had
I wasn't a big trash talker.
Oh, I was.
But if you can do that and still perform, look, I'm always gonna give you a standing O, because you putting yourself in it. You writing that check, right? And if you go out and cash it, I got none but love for you.
You guys ready for kind of a small rivalry? Today, the Canes baseball team, after sweeping 17th ranked Virginia Tech over the weekend, they're playing FAU at 6. Good for the alumni and fan base right there. The Flyers scored 4 in the second period to help them down the Panthers 6-3 last night. Cats were missing Sergei Bobrovsky, Anthony Duclair, and Sam Bennett. Florida's going to host the Maple Leafs tomorrow at 7.
What's the equivalent to that in football? Is that like scoring 28 unanswered? Because 4 goals is a lot to score.
That's a lot to overcome. Right. Yeah. I would say 20, 21 unanswered. Yeah. Something like that. Oh, man. That's crazy right there. But what are you going to do? Let's get hockey fans. Don't sit this one out when it's game time. Make all of our favorites. I think I've drank 2 of them today, and Leroy was drinking one on the air. Make Celsius a part of your play and get the energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of the Florida Panthers.
How we feel about grapefruit?
I love grapefruit.
Do you?
I don't know how it is as a Celsius energy drink.
You got to eat it without the sides, though.
No sugar.
If you get the sides, that's the bitter part.
I don't know. I'm sure the flavor is good, but grapefruits, come on, it's the bum of the citrus land.
I love some grapefruit, and I
No
love salty
way.
dog. You put a little
Really?
gin and some grapefruit
Dog.
juice, and
Nope.
I
Okay.
remember as a kid trying to
drinks then.
wrestle a kumquat.
oh,
What's going on there?
Kumquats.
what about a Merloton?
The hell is a
Yeah, you don't know about that.
what?
It's like a light green squishy bell pepper.
Okay, so now you guys have your own fruits in New Orleans and stuff.
No. We have figs. Everybody's fig tree. Fig
Oh.
trees everywhere.
Oh, your grandparents and parents make you eat them all the time.
All the time because they were in the tree in the backyard.
Because there's a billion of them, and they just don't want them taking up space.
Let's see. We got figs, we got kumquats, and Merloton.
Nutria.
Militon.
Militon.
And if you country, Nutra.
Oh, I've ate that Nutra.
Oh,
there's a law in Louisiana that says you cannot have a Nutria-Ret as a pet, but you can darn sure eat it.
Dude, a Nutria-Rat is about the size of a small cat.
It's a beaver.
It's not a beaver, dude.
Yeah, honestly, you guys surprise me more and more every hour about how different that place is.
It is like, yeah. Hey, we ain't even got to the particulars yet.
No, yeah, we're not even into that. What we are going to get into is what's trending next. We're taking a world look on everything that's happening in the internet world and on the social media world, and we're going to decide if it's worth trending or not here on the Tobin and Leroy Show on 560 WQAM. a.m. I am Dan Day with Leroy Horde, Marcos Gonzalez, and Jay Fig. We're going to go to Twitter, Instagram, all the social medias, even ones that probably haven't been invented yet or discovered yet. And we are going to find out what is trending and kind of let you know whether it's something that should be trending or not. Got to address one of the elephants in the room. Vanity Fair recently interviewed Gisele, and she says Tom Brady unretiring had nothing to do with their divorce.
Liar. He probably the main reason was probably how quick she hooked up with the judo instructor.
Ain't nothing wrong with that now.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't believe
it. Like, of course they're gonna say you can't say that the greatest football player ever. I had a problem with him playing football. That's not a good look, right? So even if you deny it, who cares what you tell the people?
It does cancel out the things that she would say before, saying that she wanted him to be more invested with the family and all that stuff.
Right, but here's how this works. You're divorced. You're not together. Who cares about the reasons now?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's all
And so you can sugarcoat it and make it all look good. And so, no, it's a mutual. No, nobody mutually splits like that. There's some heated battles and stuff like that and decisions that are made. It's not, hey, hon, what do you think we should do? Oh, well, we should still remain friends, but just we get divorced while I go and hang out with Mr. Judo.
He said they just grew apart. They grew apart and wanted different things over time, which could mean everything.
He wanted football and she wanted family.
Well, I was going to say he wanted football. She wanted judo instructor.
Yeah. But whatever the reasoning is that I always get upset when people care about, like, it's the whole thing I fight people about LeBron, right? You're not mad how LeBron left. You're mad that he left. But you're going to hide behind he left without telling Pat Riley bye. Right? And so that's what we do. It's not the fact that my girl left me. It's how she left.
Oh,
it's not.
No matter what.
You're right. It's that she's gone. That's okay.
When you're breaking up with your boyfriend and girlfriend and Fig, you might find this tacky. Call them up on the phone. Don't have them drive across town. Don't have them meet you. Don't do this. They're going to be mad at you anyway and upset anyway.
Here's the other thing.
Just do it over the phone.
Here's the other thing. Have any of us ever ended a relationship and didn't know that it was coming?
Yeah.
Didn't know. You didn't just get up one morning and say, I don't want to be with that person no more.
You always have that feeling that it's already building up.
Right.
It's going to happen eventually.
Right. Exactly. So let's not make it sound, I was shocked. No, you weren't. Stop lying.
No idea. Blindsided.
Right.
Marcos, what you
That's
got?
actually happening with the country singer right now. Kelsey Ballerini and what's that? Nobody cares because he's irrelevant. Morgan Evans. He said that he was blindsided with his divorce. And then she wrote a song called Blindsided. And she's like, were you blindsided or were you just blind? Because there's a lot of signs leading up to that situation.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. We all know. Why does everybody get so mad when you break up? You didn't see it coming? Or you just thought you could do whatever, or you were just going to tolerate whatever, and because you were together, right? Like at some point, when it gets to that point and the person decides, I don't want to do this anymore, you knew it was coming. You just didn't care enough to do something about it, and so it's over. Okay, I get it. But to sit here and act like Tom Brady and Gisele didn't know what was up and whatever.
We knew what was up.
Right. And guess what? I think they rushed the divorce because if she was with judo guy, they didn't want that to come out while they was married.
Ah, yes. Heart wants.
But who's to say? I mean, listen, not for nothing. Tom Brady got back on the horse again rather quickly too. So, I'm not just gonna put it all on her.
No.
Can't point fingers because there's four pointing back at you.
You know what's crazy? I was talking about this to somebody the other day, right? Y'all don't want to hear this, but this is a fact. When a brother have a whole bunch of baby mamas, we are quick to get on him, right? Does anybody realize that Tom Brady left a pregnant woman to go be with Gisele?
That's true.
No, we just gonna ignore that.
He and Gisele were meant to be together, though.
Right. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, I just put it out there. People are people.
Nobody's perfect.
Right. I'm not, but we don't talk about that like we talk about other folks of just gonna go ahead on and put it out there.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you do what you feel is right or whatever. You ain't got to deal with me. I ain't the person that got to you got to deal with them women, right? You ain't got to deal with me. So you do you. But I'm just saying, we didn't carry along that story as much as we have others.
Of course.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Just
Marco.
point out some stuff.
Guys, I have a question for you. Dan, what time is it?
Who in the hell left the gate open?
Who did leave the gate open as well?
12:25 and 15 seconds.
All right. J-Fig, what time is it?
Game time. Oh, no.
Close.
I'm confused. 12:25.
All right. Leroy, wherever you're at. I don't know what the time zone is in Davie. What time is it?
Time to give away some tickets.
Morphin Time is the correct answer. The
Ooh.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are returning to Netflix. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always premieres April 19th.
That's my birthday.
Hey,
Yeah.
right now,
Yes.
I want to beat the brakes off you.
Me
Even Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah, we were not going to guess that.
Power
Okay?
You just missed.
Yeah.
You just missed the best sign. But that's okay. I don't hold that.
No. We're in the correct sign, okay?
No. You
Aries.
one day from being a Taurus.
No, I love my sign.
Okay.
I was just morphin time on you guys. You didn't even
I saw the
realize.
morphin.
So yeah, it's
Outside.
actually the same characters.
Yeah, I thought the pink Power Ranger was talking about coming back.
Yeah, there's
She
the
was the hot
same
one.
characters. There's a couple passed away
All of them were hot.
characters, you know.
My
So they didn't
favorite
even-
one, by the way.
They're gonna bring back the two fat losers, or the fat loser and the nerd.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. They're bringing back the same villains. There's a lot of the same vibes, a lot of the same uniforms. They purposely decided to do things like the same kind of fashion, the same kind of crummy graphics and stuff. So I assume they're gonna bring back.
Can I just tell you,
Yeah.
is Power Rangers the worst
Whoa
CGI that exists?
I mean,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
and I mean the overdubs were terrible.
Yeah, it was very
Right,
bad.
but that's what I'm saying. Is it not terrible?
Let's go.
You should go to the
You know,
store
I
and get
haven't
them.
watched any of them as an adult,
Why
so it's
is
kind of
Marco
scary.
so infatuated with Power Rangers? You know all the moves.
Marcos,
I'm about to morph on you.
you better go now.
Don't.
Like the motions weren't even together.
Wait,
I didn't-
isn't that crazy? That like you ever watch Power Rangers? You go, wow, this is where I am now. Like this is not even like close to being real.
Yeah, it's not even. It's really bad.
Well, it's
Right.
funny you say that because I was obviously in Universal this weekend, and
Obviously.
I went to a ride that I haven't gone in since I was a child, and it was a Men in Black one.
Oh yeah.
And the graphics were so off compared to the newer
Yeah.
rides. It's crazy
Yes.
just to see the evolution of everything, but it was still so
Technology.
comforting.
Does
It was like a
everybody get
warm
seasick?
hug.
Did you get
Yeah.
seasick doing
Oh.
Spider-Man?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't do that.
The screen,
motion
the screen
sickness.
where like you get in the thing, you get the little seat, and you think you moving, and then the ride is, and you just get out because the screen moves. Oh,
Yeah.
it's brutal.
You know what's crazy? The Harry Potter ride, the one that you're in the castle going around.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That one moves everything.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Everything is
Yes.
moving. And mind you, I was terrified because there's a room with the spiders.
Big spider.
So
Yeah.
the entire time this is
Wow.
just covering my face.
Can I just tell you that Harry Potter ride? They don't even make a killing on the ride.
All the
All
work.
those wands and
Yeah,
the
for sure.
butterbeer and all the stuff surrounding Harry Potter. Because we went probably when Fonz was a kid, we had gone there like 4 times, and then Rebecca went, whatever. They don't want a t-shirt.
No,
They
nope.
want one of them $30 wands. I'm like,
$30? Aren't they
I
like
was gonna say,
$70 something dollars?
It's more than $30.
it's more than $30?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
They have a whole experience too. It's not just you buy a stick. You have to come sign up for something.
Right.
Then you meet them at a room. You sit in a room with a dark.
And you gotta wait in that long. That line is longer than the Harry Potter ride.
Did you wait that line, Marcos? Because you know a lot about it.
My girl waited in the line. She wanted to find. Yeah, right. We got to the front, and they're like, "Oh, the one that would be perfect for you would be this one." And I'm like, "That's $70."
Well, that's a nice experience, though.
That's why they say, "Why can't the perfect one be the $25 one for my?"
You sure it's not this little wiggly one right here? It is this one, man, with fine oak wood. I'm like, I bet it is. I bet it is.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And then your girl looking at you, and you've been shamed into spending $70 for a stick. Yeah,
A stick that you can only use there,
right?
In specific windows, and that little umbrella,
right?
And
so
the random bird in the corner.
Once you leave, your $70 goes into that little box and on the shelf.
For sure. What is she gonna do at home? Just point the stick at me?
Marcos, Marcos, you will soon learn that you would prefer that she point the stick at you and give orders instead of just yelling across a room. You'll see.
My kid's gonna milk me for a couple of sticks or capes or candy that he shows.
Dude, I got no chance. Listen, I will flick Fonz in the head and tell him no as a kid.
Yeah.
But Rebecca?
No hope. Did that work? Can I do that? Is that allowed?
I mean,
I can just give him a little.
It's always a younger child. They're kind of just like, I wouldn't know because I'm not the younger child.
I'm like, you know what they do though? Here's what they do to me. You know what they do to me? They go get me a turkey leg. And they sit me at the bench on the outside and say, "Daddy, eat your turkey leg. We gonna go over here.
We'll be back."
And I'm eating that turkey leg, not realizing that they took my wallet that they used to pay to go into
and you thought your wallet was on you, but it was just a bunch of little mustard packets that you love.
One time, I mean, they damn near came out with a broom that had some kind of contraption on it where Rebecca was sitting on the broom and Fonz was like pushing her. I'm like,
no way.
I'm like, what
they sell that?
I don't know. It was a broom.
Imagine buying a broom that doesn't
and a stick. I'm like, hey,
you can't reuse
I
this.
said, hey, you can't fly with that, right? Like, oh my goodness.
Yes, you can in Harry Potter land.
People believe.
Yes, you can.
By the way, that is also frightening because they still have the ride where you sit on the bar or the stick or the something like that. They give you the impression that you're sitting on the broom flying through Harry Potter land.
I don't think so.
Nah, too many kids were actually flying. They had to cancel.
Dude, I'm telling you. And then I waited in the long butterbeer line.
Oh,
and they didn't have the frozen butterbeer because too many people had got it. So it was just basically ginger ale for $12 in the cup. I'm like, I don't want the cup. I want the butterbeer frozen.
Yep.
You know what was kind of upsetting to me? That it's butterbeer, but there's no alcohol in it.
That's true.
That's kind of
I mean,
offended.
the kids were drinking it, They gotta.
They should have an adult one.
That's true. You're right about that.
Really?
So they
I
can
feel the
charge
same
more.
way. Dr. Seuss land has moose goose and goose juice.
loose goose.
They should put, they should have moose juice, goose juice, a little loose juice for the.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It's funny. It's funny how like you go through different stages of Universal.
Yeah.
Like first, let's start. When I first took Rebecca to Orlando, she got to go to Disney. She can't go to Universal.
Yeah,
Universal is for big kids.
Yep.
Right. But then I used to pay for all that stuff to wait through the line or whatever. And the only thing we could really do, because they were terrified of the rides. So we couldn't go on any substantial rides. And so that was unfortunate that I got Fast Pass and the whole weekend and we sitting around, spinning around on damn teacup. I could do teacup at the county fair in Palm Beach.
Yeah, I think Hollywood mentioned it this morning. Dan and I were talking to him in the hallway. He has a Disney trip coming up for him and his wife, his 2 kids. That's costing him $3,000.
Yep.
And that's being lowballing.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, dude, you're lucky.
Crazy to me. Yeah.
You're lucky.
That's
if
the
you get
only
out
reason
free.
why I would not have an annual pass. I feel like that money can be served somewhere else, travel wise.
I did the annual pass. I did the annual pass and figured out you have to go 2 times.
Yeah, to get your money's worth.
To get your money's worth.
Yeah.
But the way the annual pass works is you might pay a couple $100 a month instead of paying that whole bill. Right? So it serves, but then what happens is 1 year you don't go because of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that kills it right there. So I was done after that.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'd rather travel.
To where?
Everywhere.
We live. Can I just say this? We are fortunate that we live in everybody else's destination.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, that's the wonderful part. You go somewhere else, and then guess what? You get to come back home to paradise.
But really? Where's the last? Oh, you go. Yeah, Cuban. You go to Tennessee. That's where y'all going now. A lot of Cubans take trips to Tennessee. I can't explain it.
Okay, my bad. But like, I want to go everywhere else, not just Tennessee.
Have you been to California?
Pretty guilty of that.
No. I used to be. By the way, we are super off the clock.
It's your fault.
It's your fault. We're gonna be on break. We'll figure about that later. We're going on break.
Rats off a ship.
It's off a ship.
Don't want to bust up the clock too much here on the Tobin and Leroy show. So Leroy, get ready. Figs got it. Take it away. Rats off a ship.
Where the hell did you get that, Leroy?
Wait,
You
what's
think
going on?
You think I was kidding when I told you we got all this crap from all the time we've been at Disney? I just called the kid. Hey, bring me one of them wands I bought you.
Wow.
You thought I was kidding?
Money wand. No, I didn't.
I thought they were gone.
There's no remnants for the turkey leg, though. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I guarantee
I'll
that.
tell you, that's how they get me. Daddy, just go over there. Ooh, they got turkey legs over there. We'll be back.
All right, we're going to start with Rats Off a Ship.
I'm back with everything but the English accent.
Perfect. The World Baseball Classic yesterday brought out the stars. I actually have this photo here. Can you name the stars in this photo, right? Got Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Dwayne Wade, Bam Adebayo, Jazz Chisholm. I don't know if that's
Xavier
Jalen
Howard.
Ramsey, Xavier Howard,
Jokic.
Jokic,
Orlando Robinson.
Wow, that's good because there's something that I was like, I don't know what that guy is, to be honest.
Is Bam got a Band-Aid on his forehead?
Oh,
No,
no,
that's his hat.
Yeah, that's his hat. That's his hairline.
That's the strap.
But yeah, as you can see, the stars were
See a lot of
brought out.
sweeteners in there.
Yep. Just
yeah.
a couple little sweeteners in there, and our boy UD, of course. Now my question to you is, does this mean Miami will be in love with baseball now? Are you Rats Off a Ship on that? I'm gonna start with Leroy.
I'm Rats Off a Ship for this reason.
Rats off a ship.
It's a way to get people in, but if the Marlins don't do something to get these people's interest, then they'll just wait till the next WBC. See, this is an international thing. If you want to make it local, right, you either one got to have some of those same international players, or two, while the iron's hot, put a good team on the field. And as of right now, with no games being played and where this team has been, we don't know if they've done either of those. So I'm going to be Rats Off a Ship. But I do believe now is a perfect time for the Marlins to get the attention of South Florida.
Rats off a ship.
What about you, Dan? Rats Off a Ship on Miami being in love with baseball.
I am not Rats off a ship because the Marlins and Major League Baseball are like that girl you love so much, and she's no good for you, and you don't really like, you're not happy around her, but you just keep believing. They do it to you every time. I keep saying, baseball's back. Didn't you see the World Baseball Classic? And the Marlins and Miami back to loving baseball. Look, people are feeling it now. They went to those games. They love it. They watch it.
And then they start off 10-32.
Right. And the Marlins are getting smoked in spring training. And I just say, no, they're actually a good team. They're just going to be good during the season. So, I mean, I'm not Rats Off a Ship. But...
In other words, in the words of one famous actor, I can't quit you.
It's true, man. I just can't. Keep pulling me back in.
Rats Off a Ship?
Wasn't that like
Dan
a movie
just
of the
fall
year?
Off his chair. No, he's good.
Didn't that win like movie of the year?
I can't quit you.
What year?
Brokeback Mountain. I don't know.
What year?
Oh.
Man, I watched Brokeback Mountain by myself one time. My old lady at the time came in and I was like, she's like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, Brokeback Mountain. She was like, by yourself in the dark? I was like, I watched it. Okay, nonetheless, I digress.
I have yet to see that movie.
Yeah.
Brokeback Mountain, and you know what was the OG Brokeback Mountain?
Whoa.
The Crying Game.
Oh, that's a good movie. Neil Day-Lewis, man. Come on.
That one movie of the year also.
Oh, that one movie of the year. Yeah, that's a movie right there.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Tough spot right there.
Very similar movies, I might add.
Both very uncomfortable to watch.
Yes.
I avoided them both. J Fig, Rats Off a Ship?
I'm not Rats Off a Ship. I do see where Leroy's coming from, but I don't know. Something feels different.
I like that. Something definitely does feel different.
You know what? Can I ask you a question, J Fig?
No.
You've been dating a guy for a long time. He does something that you don't like, whatever that is. You tell him about it. right? Would you ever use that excuse? Would you ever let him use that excuse? Right? It's coming. No. I'm going to change. at some point, you got to just take it for what it is.
This year's the year I'm going to change.
I'm not saying they can't. Right? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying these are the things that need to happen to continue to have the eyes on baseball in South Florida.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right. Now, from something that's I guess serious to something that's a little bit more lighthearted. I brought this up earlier, Dan Day. I don't think you were on the show that specific day. There's this trend going around of
Ooh, Frog Boy.
Ribbit.
The chocolate.
If I can use the wand to bring up these red boots. Ooh, that is Coyle Ray, I believe. I'm not 100%
Ooh, that's because
sure.
girls are players too.
Girls are players too.
Players too. All right.
She's tiny.
She is indeed tiny, and those boots
like that.
are not tiny.
That's not using most female rappers are kind of thick. I don't
Like
know why.
Lotto.
Yeah.
It's a whole lotto. You win the lotto when you get her.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Well, that's not actually the only thing that is trending at the moment. Big boots, big hat now thing, you know?
No.
So I'm going to start with Leroy.
Hey, that would fit you normally, Marcos.
Wow.
That's your side.
Actually, just let him borrow my hat if I had to be honest.
It does help if you have like a little peanut, right? Because he got a tiny head.
For sure.
That's not his head. Look how big his hands and arms are.
No way.
Look how big his hands and arms are. That's not his head.
That's bad. That's bad. Photoshop right there.
Oh, that's exactly how
Dude,
it is.
there's no way.
Boots are real.
That's his.
The
Look
boots
at
are
his
The boots are
arms.
real. That hat is just
Look at
not.
his arms and then
think
look
so?
at his head.
Yeah, that's a good catch right there.
All right. Well, now I got to go. If you guys go to Noggin, what is the website? Nogginboss.com. You can actually purchase these hats if you're interested. You can
How
get
much?
them football. Actually, yeah, let's go to the
80,
original.
$90, $100?
$75 if
Yeah.
you want just a normal
A hat?
color.
A regular hat costs $50.
Yeah.
No, it
But now if
doesn't.
you want one, like
Fitted
for
out of
example,
lids or something, yeah.
you get one with like NASCAR logo on it. That
Oh.
one's $125. You know, it's not too bad, I guess. You know,
To look like a doofus.
yeah, that's pretty good.
For real.
Yeah,
real.
so nogginboss.com.
You want
You
to go
know,
around
that
the
looks
room
like
with this?
Yeah,
that looks like the hat they wore in Beetlejuice. When the dude
right.
put the dust on his head and he shrunk.
So
Leave
big
that up.
fashion,
No.
the big clothes. All right, Jay,
No.
you make your rats off a ship on that one.
Super.
I'm way rats off his shit. This is
All right.
ridiculous.
Rats
Right?
off the ship.
You guys just don't have fashion sense.
Make it official. I'm rats off a ship.
Oh, clean
Rats
sweep.
off the ship.
Guess I got
So
a
do you
bowl.
have fashion? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I actually purchased these, but now I'm too embarrassed and I don't want to really.
You purchased them red boots?
Yeah, I got them on the way.
With fur on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, I got the cheaper version though. Mine's are they're coming from China, so it'll probably
Bobo.
take extended time.
Bobo.
Number 3 on the board today. Dan Day, I'll start off with you this time. Miami joining Connecticut as the only other school to have both men's and women's win the national championship in the same year. Are you rats off a ship on
that? I'm rats off a ship on that. Rats off a ship. I got to be honest with you. If one of them wins, I will be ecstatic.
For sure.
Both of them, and I know you can make an argument. The women's team, they beat Indiana, number 1 seed. They can
Let me take it one step further.
Yeah.
Right? Who has the better chance, Dan Day? The men or the women?
Men.
Yes, because I'm going to tell you, South Carolina and UConn,
yeah,
you're going to have to get through one or maybe both of them.
I mean, there's a reason also why they were seeded 8th or 9th, the women's team, is because they're probably an 8 or 9 team. You might be able to win a couple here and there against some other teams, but eventually it's going to catch up to you.
Here's the other thing.
Men's teams.
The women's game is not like the men's game.
There's a
the
lot
men's
of
game, there's upsets. There's guys that make runs in the tournament. The women, there's 4 teams that can win. And nobody ever surprises. Like it's going to be the UConn, it's going to be South Carolina, Baylor. Like Baylor's out of it now, but there's it's the same 4 or 5 teams.
Stanford's out of it.
Stanford's out.
This was the first women's tournament since 1998 where 2 1 seeds were eliminated before the Sweet 16.
Right. It usually the women's game is all chalk until you get to 1-2.
Yeah. Till the final, till the
Right.
evening.
So yeah, I'm rats off a ship on that. Even though I think it would be. Would it be more entertaining if the women won?
No.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You don't go parade.
There is nobody bigger than the Cavender twins. Either.
I like that.
So if they won a national championship, right? I want to see Coach L do it because he's been consistent here for since he's been here, and they've been a threat. I would like to see him win it, but what would be the bigger story if the cabinet, they'd be everywhere. Everywhere. Is there anybody on the men's team like that? See?
I mean, you have some interesting stories.
Not at all.
You got some interesting stories.
You got a guy named Isaiah Wong, Wooga Poplar.
We got crazy names on the team for sure.
Yeah.
Norchad Omir, his nickname is Baby Food.
Wow.
You got some baby food NIL deals right there.
Yep.
But the Cavender twins. Ooh, that's
like
the original countdown for the Olsen twins.
Right. Athletic Olsen twins. And with some meat on their bones. Because them two Olsen twins were skinny.
Oh, I love
they
them.
almost look frightening.
I loved them. I still love them.
They were my favorites.
I know. Thank you, Fig.
J Fig, are you rats off the ship on
You know what? No, I'm not rats off the ship.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Guts.
That's Mrs. 305 right there, baby.
All right,
She got the guts.
One more. She's got
Not the
guts.
bubble guts.
Okay, what's that's
the bubble guts are tragic. Oh, by the way, speaking of bubble guts, yesterday, so I'm not eating bread or whatever. So we had some I had a soft shell taco or whatever, and I put them. I did it with chicken.
That's lame. It should be a corn taco.
No, okay, you do you. You do you, boo boo. Okay, so then I was walking down the aisle getting the taco stuff, and I saw, Taco Bell hot sauce. Now, let me just give you a little backstory on Taco Bell. Anytime I have bought any item of food from Taco Bell, it immediately gave me the bubble guts. So I don't eat at Taco Bell, right? I don't really eat tacos. But I did it. I got the hot sauce. I put the hot sauce on it, and guess what?
Bubble guts.
Bubble guts.
Now
I was
you
eating
know.
Tums like Tic Tacs.
I see it.
Well, you clean out though. You clean out good.
I
For
guess. Hey, I was lightheaded and sweating.
Were you? I was about to say, were you doing this?
I was going, Lord Jesus, I would never do this again. Just get me through this. Get me. That's how it was. That's how it was. I was sweating. It was chilly outside, and I was sweating. I was like, what did I do? I figured it would cool off if I just put my phone down and stop playing video games.
For real.
I was like, woo! I had to take a cold shower. I'm like,
amazing.
I would never touch that again. I went and got the bottle, threw it in the trash. They say, oh, you only used it once. Nope, done.
That was enough.
That was enough. Like that chicken we had that one day. Oh,
that was enough.
Goodness. All Uber ain't good Uber.
Wise words from an Ubered man.
Oh, yeah.
And with that, I think we should go to break.
Rats off a ship. That was it.
W
This is the Tobin and Leroy Show on 560 WQAM. You can join in the show. Simple as this, 305-567-0560. That is the text machine. If you want to see our lovely faces, J-Fig is in the mix, so probably want to see her before you see Marcos, Leroy, or myself. That's okay. Either way, you can go to the YouTube page, 560 WQAM, or the Twitch page, 560 WQAM. Just type in those keywords, and boom, you will see all of that.
I just had a little taste. I just had a little taste of home, Dan.
What's going on?
Got a jar of hot pickles.
Ooh, man. I love it when it burns so good.
Hey, when you go to the corner store, here's what your options are. The hot pickle, the pickled egg.
Yeah.
Pickled pig's feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say
and
gross.
pickle pig lip.
Oh, pig lip.
Yeah, man.
What?
One in New Orleans, man.
Hey, dude. In the
I've
grocery
never
store,
had any of those.
in the
and I'm
grocery
kinda
store, you can get
discouraged.
that big old jar. Like it looked like the big government jar.
Mm-hmm.
You get one of them big jars and you just buy a whole one and bring it to your house. Put it in a bag of chips, barbecue chips. You fire.
I like to put those pickled eggs and pickled pickle or the hot pickles in the refrigerator, so they're cold to the touch, but then they're hot to the mouth.
I'm not a big fan of the pickled egg.
I like pickled eggs and hot sausage.
I got the pickled pig's feet too.
No, but the hot sausage, you get the hot sausage wrapped in that formaldehyde that looks like
I like to chew on the
bag,
red.
in a little bag. And here's what the texture of it is horrible. So it's like you get a sausage and it's mush. Yeah, I can't.
I don't like that. Yeah, no, it has to be. You know what I didn't like though? I gotta admit, as I've grown up, I go to the corner stores. They have the jar of hot sausages, a jar of pickled eggs, and then they have these tongs in a cup, in which you're supposed to take these tongs and then grab it because it's supposed to be cleaner. But then you look at the bottom of the cup and it's crusted at the bottom, and you realize they haven't changed these tongs or this cup in at least 3 to 4 weeks. And I should be alarmed by getting this pickled egg or hot sausage. I used to do it anyway as a kid.
Hey, it's the corner store. It don't matter.
You know everything.
It don't matter.
I don't know.
Like as a kid, I was also infatuated with honey buns.
Oh, I love honey buns. The white ice honey buns are way superior than the glazed ones.
See, we have something in New Orleans that, like, because everybody is big on fresh pastries. So I lived at one time in my life, I lived by a bunny bread factory.
Oh.
And you could go right into the bunny bread store and get bread that was made that day, a loaf of bread.
Like biting into
But they also had the day old section.
I go get that.
But just a day old, you could get everything at a half price or even more
25,
off.
25-cent honey buns.
Yeah. But so all the donut shops did the same thing. So you go in there and they bring some fresh hot donuts. You say, nah, player. Let me get them day olds. Yeah. More bang for your buck.
Nah, player. Let me get those day olds.
Yeah, that's it.
What a quote right there.
Yeah. I say, man, when I got some money, I say, ooh, I'm gonna get them fresh donuts.
That's for holidays, that's for birthdays, that's for bird days, that's for special days right there.
Yeah.
Regular days, you get them day olds.
Not Dunkin' Donuts, you can't even get fresh donuts. They don't even make donuts on site. But I still get. How many of us are intrigued by the red light?
Oh,
you know that red. You know
I've
that
never
red
seen the red light off. Have you seen it off?
It's rarely
I've
off.
never seen it off.
Wait, certain places it stays on. Certain places always. But those hot donuts, when you get them, and you just take a bite and it just melt in your mouth.
I get a dozen.
That's true.
In a sitting.
Yeah.
Never seen these before, J-Fig? You've never seen? Oh, look at that right there. Oh, that's the good stuff.
Hey,
I've seen them. I've just never been intrigued. by
what's the
taste
pink stuff? Preservative?
It's a warning label.
Love.
It's a warning label.
Because I don't understand, like, why it's got to be in the pink
Red.
stuff.
It's red wine vinegar.
And
That's what I tell myself.
as you eat one, and
Yes.
then the fact that you could have a sausage wrapped up in plastic for however long, that just doesn't seem like that's good on your body. I'm gonna just say that. How many people? Marcos now?
Yeah.
So you Cuban, right?
Yep.
Tell me this, because this has happened in the hood also.
All right.
And there's certain nationalities that this happens to. Y'all just chime in.
All right.
How many people, when you say I'm going to the corner store and getting a pickle hot sausage, have tried to tell you they can make them?
Oh my God. Yeah, I've had one person try to tell me they can make pickled eggs, and they try to like, make it flavor. I did not tell them.
Everybody have that relative that said,
Yeah.
"Well, go get me a done days of vinegar. I can make that myself. You don't need to spend all that money on that." I say, but I want it now.
My mom tried to do that to me. That's the old we got food at home trick. Yeah. Nah, I'm not, you're not getting me with that one.
That's a big thing in New Orleans, though. That's a big thing in New Orleans. One of the things that you have all these fancy restaurants and stuff, Arno's and Emerald's and all these places, but locals don't really go there because they are insulted if you want to go to a restaurant because they feel they could cook it at home. The same thing, which they probably could.
Mm-hmm. Big Lino say, "Why you got to do that? I can make potatoes Delmonico right here. You don't have to go over there."
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to Emerald's. I've never been to.
I've never been to Arno's. I've never been to Emerald's.
I've been to Arno's and Antoine's.
I've been the only place, like, I used to go back home once a year and we go to Ruth Chris.
Oh, well, Ruth's Chris. That's different. That's
steak, right,
man.
but not a Louisiana place.
You guys don't go to like staple restaurants because you feel like you can have it at home, kind of thing. Is that what you're saying?
It's just no. A lot of people think that way. Like whatever dish you are getting,
yeah,
at that restaurant, somebody can make at home.
I'm not gonna lie though. Pascal Manali's known for the barbecue shrimp. They invented it. Big Lynn can cook a mean barbecue shrimp. Why would I go to Pascal Manali's?
And there's a rule in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Don't eat food from a skinny cook.
Yeah, that's true. Don't trust a skinny cook or chef.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And guess what?
And look, it's true with me. You don't want to see me try to cook.
I do not. I don't
want to know. Some of your biggest people in New Orleans are the best cooks.
You know how to throw it down.
How do you say mayonnaise again?
Mayonnaise.
Oh, yeah.
There's another rule. Don't anger Fig. So let's try to stay on the clock as much as possible.
Yes.
These headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Wow, too.
Yeah, I got the Raptor. Yep.
The Dolphins plan to re-sign Andrew Van Ginkel. The linebacker was a 2019 pick for Miami, but only played 29% of the defensive snaps last season.
Oh, that's because they brought in Bradley Chubb. And when you think about it, Van Ginkel is kind of an insurance policy, but Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, all those guys up front got off. That was the strength of that defense last year. So that's kind of how he got squeezed out. But you need it. You need it. He's probably a veteran that can do a little bit of everything. Pass protect, rush the passer, get after it in the run game. So he's going to be a good person to have on your team.
Hate Week is about to begin as Miami will take on the Knicks tonight, 7:30 at the Miami-Dade Arena.
Do we hate the Nets? I don't think we really hate the Nets. The Nets, they haven't gotten to the point where they can be hated.
Nobody hates the Nets.
At some point, don't you have to be good?
Yeah, and you have to have like rivalry, and you have to have history.
They're dumb. I don't like them.
We all have this. Every city has. For Minnesota, it was Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Right? For Cleveland, it was Pittsburgh. For the Dolphins, it's what? The Jets? Would you say the Jets?
Yep.
Right? For New Orleans, it was Atlanta. Right? But in basketball, it's the Knicks. But I would never even consider like the Nets.
The Nets have no natural rival.
Can I say the Nets are the Tobin of the NBA? And I'm going to tell you why.
Go for that.
Show pony activity, right? They want to change where they're from. Tobin lies about his backstory all the time. I don't really know where this guy's from. On top of that, they bring in Jay-Z. They try to be cool. They're trying to be trending. They're not focused on what's on the court.
Game.
Yeah, they're not focused on what's on the court, much like Tobin, not focused on what's going on the court. Also, they love stars. They love bringing stars. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Darren Williams, DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Ben Simmons. Tell me how many championships that's equal. Nothing, man. They're all fraudulent. They're all show ponies. The Brooklyn Nets are the Brendan Tobin of the NBA. You heard it here first. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Never mind that you took a shot at a guy who can't defend himself, but that's okay.
Absolutely. That's when you take shots.
Hey, that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. So you don't have to hear a response.
Right. And when he
There
does
you
come
go.
back and respond, it's like, oh, but we're already past that, man.
I'll edit it.
Why you got to bring up old stuff?
Yeah.
I would never say those things about Tobin. See, now I'm just gonna go ahead and put that at the front of the audio. And
That's what he does. Tobin.
Wow, that's exactly what he does.
That's what he does.
It's something I would never say about Tobin. I would never say. Okay, and then I can just put that in the front there.
Yeah.
The Flyers, they scored 4 in the second period to help them down the Panthers 6-3 last night. The Cats, they were missing Sergei Bobrovsky, Anthony Duclair, and Sam Bennett. In Florida, they're going to host the Maple Leafs tomorrow at 7 in what is pretty much becoming a must-win now because they dropped 2 points last night to the Flyers.
Dan, what the hell did you just call him?
Sergei Bobrovsky?
Sergei?
Sergei.
He
said Sergei.
Sergio?
Serge Ibaka? Why didn't Serge Ibaka play for the Panthers last night?
Be careful though. Sergei or Sergei Bobrovsky may be one of the names on the first annual Tobin and Leroy spelling bee at the end of this hour.
Yeah, that's right.
I hope you've been studying.
Everybody tighten up, man. We got the big Tobin and Leroy spelling bee coming up at the end of the hour. But next, we are going to have 15 minutes of heat right here on 560 WQAM. 15 minutes of heat here on the Tobin and Leroy show. And in just a couple of minutes, your chance to win some Heat tickets. That's right. The Heat season is winding down, and we want to get you to a game. We've got a pair of tickets to go see the Heat host the Mavs Saturday, April 1st. Keep listening to us for your chance to win. I'm telling you, at the end of this segment, we're going to be giving those tickets away. So hold tight. Of course, the Miami Heat, they are taking on the hated New York Knicks. We're talking about natural rivals. Maybe the Brooklyn Nets and the Orlando Magic can be natural rivals because they've got no one else to be a rival with.
Well, isn't the Nets and Knicks thing like Clippers and Lakers?
Oh, Lakers are more rivals with Boston Celtics, I would think, than the Clippers.
Yeah, but that's championship rivals. We're not talking about just everything. And isn't it, the Clippers are getting ready to move out of that building anyway?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think people get stoked up for Knicks, Nets, or Clippers, Lakers.
No,
it's all Knicks, and it's all Lakers.
Yeah, they've done a lot to revamp the whole Brooklyn Net thing. But even then, if you tell me the Brooklyn Nets finish first in the East, or the New York Knicks go on a 15-game winning streak, what has more buzz in the city? Easily, it's the 15-game winning streak by the Knicks.
Correct. Yeah,
easily. It's not even
disagree with that.
I did want to bring something up. I meant to bring it up during hashtag what's trending, but one of the things that's trending online, and this to me does not make me very excited as a Heat fan. There's somebody that tweeted online, NBA players that I would let my daughter date, or I want my daughter to date. Of the top 10, 3 of them are on the Heat team. So does that worry you a little bit that we kind of like look soft?
Who are they?
Oh, who do you think they are? Go ahead and try to guess right now. The 3 soft-looking players on the Heat that you would let your daughter date.
Max Strus.
No.
Omer Yurtseven.
No, okay.
And Tyler Herro.
Tyler Herro's one.
Gabe Vincent.
Oh.
No.
Gabe Vincent is a heartbreaker, J-Fig. There's no way you'd let such a handsome
You're
man.
right.
So is it Bam and Jimmy?
No way.
No, guys that aren't
I
very
feel like Bam
intimidating.
would be there.
Who's someone
Duncan?
Duncan.
Tyler, and
that last one, I don't know.
The man's last name says it all.
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love.
Wow.
Oh, what are we saying? Your daughter can only date intangibles?
Hey, man, that's what list? Who wrote this list, Andrew?
Daniel said it.
Fritz Fanboy. wrote
Fritz
it.
Fanboy.
It's trending all over Twitter. Austin
Nice.
Reeves is on the list. That's that
Is this
Lakers
really
guy.
trending right now?
Yusuf Nurkic. I don't know. Yusuf Nurkic, I think he has a little spice
hold
to
on.
him.
I am starting to see a trend amongst all these people. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I
What's the
mean,
next
yeah,
one?
Alex Caruso, bald.
Okay, what?
Joe
Looks
Ingles,
like he's 80.
Joe Ingles?
bald.
What are we even talking about at this point?
Bogdan Bogdanovich,
Okay.
Gordon Hayward.
No way.
Hey, wait.
Oh my
No,
God!
so-
Send me that link.
So what is he trying to say?
What is he trying to
His
say?
daughter can
Dean?
not even a Steph Curry?
Not even a Steph Curry. I'd
I
keep
mean,
him away from
Interesting.
Klay
Wait. I'm going through the list right now. Ooh.
Very interesting.
Seems
yeah.
like Chris
I keep
Paul
away
might
from
have
Klay
deeper
Thompson. Might get hit
issues.
with a brick.
Leroy. He sounds like this guy might have deeper issues than just
Yeah.
First of all, this is a sick list. Let's just let's just
Kristaps
discuss that.
Porzingis, Steven Adams. I don't want my
Okay.
daughter dating Steven Adams.
No
Hold
way.
up.
I don't want my daughter dating Steve.
So wait a minute. So basically, he is saying in his own little special way,
Yeah.
he don't want her to date no brothers.
That's essentially what he's saying.
He
dude.
could have just said it.
Yeah,
He
Joe
didn't have to
Harris-
name names.
Yeah, I mean, when you start naming
Where did you
Joe
find
Ingles.
this? I don't see any.
Joe
of this
Ingles
trending.
and Caruso.
Yeah, this was on one of those back page
Austin
dark Reddit.
Reeves, Yusuf Nurkic, Kevin Love, Duncan Robinson, Joe Harris, Joe Ingles, Jonas Valanciunas.
So wait a minute.
Alex Caruso.
Valanciunas,
Duncan
dude.
Robinson don't even play.
Valanciunas, dude.
Yeah, there's no brothers on this list.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that list isn't about being soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That list ain't about being
Racist.
soft. It's about being white.
But not even like
I mean, think about it. Wait, he damn near named all the white guys in the NBA.
Literally,
that
they
basically-
literally through all of them.
All of them.
Now,
That means Tyler
I
Johnson.
don't agree
Hey,
with this.
Tyler
list.
Johnson
Yeah,
would
I
have
don't
never been
agree.
on that list
for sure, he's half.
because he's mixed.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's mixed?
Tyler Herro. I mean,
Tyler
Tyler Johnson.
I was about to say Tyler Herro is not mixed.
Tyler
He
Johnson.
was in Wisconsin.
No, he's mixed, dude. We found it out the other day. Yep.
No, is it Tyler Johnson? Yeah, Tyler Johnson has
list?
a Tyler Johnson. Didn't you say that?
Tyler Johnson is definitely mixed.
No, but I'm saying Tyler Herro. Didn't you say he?
I did say that. I did.
He said African, like 1% African
No,
or
no,
something
no.
like that. And then we were like South
Okay.
Africa.
Everyone's just worried about the wrong things. What we need to worry about is that damn list. All right.
Yeah, send that list to me.
I'm worried that
go ahead and put it.
Wait, so you can make a list and be perfectly okay with a dude being racist because it's his list.
It's very bad.
And we just hit behind that list while nobody paid attention and thought, wait, it's all intangibles.
Wait. Okay, there are some of the names that you listed, but
Yeah.
this is from last year on TikTok.
Hey man, what's trending is trending sometimes.
How is this trending if it was last year?
It's not last year.
That's Dan Day's algorithm, man.
This is uploaded March 1st of 2022.
Is it the same list?
You're on TikTok.
I don't know.
I'm on Twitter.
Well, I'm on Google. I can't find it.
Google.
Okay, this
Wait,
is
who
the
are
thing.
those data
Doesn't
bulls?
look
issue
like
I'm
this.
trying to make is
Yeah.
if Kevin Love is talking noise to me, I'm not scared. Tyler Herro is talking noise to me, I'm not scared. Duncan Robinson's talking noise to me. Let's go.
What about the Valanciunas?
No, no. I'm not saying that.
Steven Adams.
No. Those guys, but I'm saying those three that he listed from the Heat, they do come
Why
off as
does
soft
Alex
sometimes.
Caruso have a bunch of hearts next to it?
Yeah. Why does
Because he's
Alex
bald.
Caruso?
He gets an extra bonus point for bald.
I would not. This guy, he looks horrible. I don't want that. I don't want my grandchild possibly looking like Alex Caruso.
Okay.
Like one of them baby birds.
So the Heat have. Well, this is the thing. The Heat have some of the toughest guys.
Yeah.
In Bam Adebayo.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
But then they also got some guys that you wouldn't be scared of.
It averages out.
That's true.
I'm surprised they didn't have Yurtseven or Strus.
Yeah. They probably, because whoever wrote that list doesn't even know who those people are. They're not really a basketball fan. They're just an angry person.
I mean, wow. None says I'm racist like coming up with a list only white people could be on.
I'll tell you what, though. I do agree with omitting Klay Thompson from that list because I would not even a little bit have.
Well, here to be honest, he didn't even include mixed people.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
All white.
Which we as a show do not agree, except for Klay Thompson, because I don't know that guy.
Klay Thompson's mixed.
He's a loose cannon. That's what it is. He's mixed with cannon because he's a loose cannon and you can't trust him.
He's a loose cannon. Getting back to the Heat, is there another chance tonight that Julius Randle goes off and scores big against the Heat?
Wow.
Because I'm gonna say like this.
Hopefully not.
All y'all could beat me, just not him.
I like Emmanuel Quick. I mean, to say I like him, I think he's a good player.
They did that.
Yeah, but Brunson is good too. Let's not forget Brunson. He does a lot.
RJ Barrett gave us some business last game too. We played
RJ Barrett. Yep. Think about that. They played with the way he's playing, with the way with Randall and all those guys. You almost forgot about RJ Barrett simply because he was supposed to be the next coming, right?
Oh, people were saying they should take him over Zion. Well, that's aged a little better, but yeah. RJ
Zion just need to play.
If he plays, they're
He's
great.
electric when he plays, but every time he plays, something breaks. That means that a human being should not be able to be that athletic with all that weight on your pegs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just put it at that.
Mm-hmm. So, pick tonight. Jimmy's going to be Jimmy. That's what he is. Need a big game from Bam. Who's going to guard Julius Randle? Because remember, they tried Bam and then they tried Jimmy. Or Jimmy put himself in and did a good job. I wouldn't say great, but did a good job. So I guess would you just say, okay, Jimmy, but do you take away from his offense by having to put him out there?
Yeah. The funny thing is that Julius Randle has that stiffness as another Nick we remember, Carmelo Anthony. He can ball, but doesn't he seem kind of stiff when how he goes about it? Like it's not fluid. I think you shut down Randall. you force some other guys to kind of chime in, and then you try to defend the rest of them with with those guys. But I think if you shut the right person down early on in the game, you then in effect control the other guys.
I'll tell you what's nerve-wracking. Caleb Martin is questionable for tonight. So is Kyle Lowry. You need Caleb Martin's defense and size right there.
You just needed 6 fouls.
You needed 6 fouls. There you go. Kind of need some of that. So we shall see. It's a big hate week for the Miami Heat.
It's going to really suck. Dan Day, real quick. You know what's going to really suck? We're going to be watching this game tonight. Randall's going to dribble down the court, and Kevin Love's going to be in front of him.
Yeesh.
That's what I'm going to say.
Look,
although he does take a lot of fouls.
They had that miraculous game winner last time. Julius Randle had 50-something points the other day. They're due for a collapse. They will not win tonight just because the law of averages.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds crazy, but I like that. And that's the NBA right there. You got to play great tonight. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who guards Julius Randle. And if he gets hot, what do you do?
I mean, what happened the other day? You put up 57 and they lost. You may just let them go.
That's it. Everybody,
does he get the star treatment where you say he's going to get his, let's shut down everybody else?
I mean, based off of the game winner last time and the 50-something he put up, not necessarily he's deserving of it, but it's worthy of like, all right, look, let's just let him do whatever he does.
You don't think Julius Randle is a star?
I think he's a star. I don't think he's a superstar. That was the argument we had yesterday.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I saw, and then people say, well, why would you say that? He just scored 57. He's having a career year. And then the Pelicans tried him at number 1, at their star player.
Right.
It did not go very well. I think he is a star. I think he's an underrated star. I think he's been good his entire career with the Lakers, with the Pelicans, with the Knicks. But I do not think he's a superstar. And I do not think he's somebody that's going to carry the Knicks all the way through the playoffs to the NBA.
You know what's the most amazing thing about Randall? I don't think he's 30 yet.
He's young. Yeah, he only played 1 year at Kentucky.
I don't think he's 30 yet, but he kind of moves like he's like a veteran. You know, them veteran moves.
Right.
Right. Crafty moves.
Use that. He's 28. Yeah.
20. And not only is he not 30, he's not close to 30. He's 28 years old. Feel like you've been in the league for 37 years.
I mean, he entered the league when he was 19, so it's almost been 10 years.
And he's stiff already.
He's always been that way.
Yeah.
And also, I like the way he makes shots. It always looks like it barely goes in. You know, some guys like Steph and I'm not even going to say the other guy, Klay Thompson, and Damian Lillard. It's so smooth and silky through the net. His stuff like jangles around and barely goes in. Everyone's like, he barely made that. I'm like, that's how he shoots.
That's how he shoots.
That's just his style, man. Make it count. Don't make it count tonight. They threw Bam at him last game. That wasn't the best idea. They threw Jimmy at him last game. Or Jimmy threw himself at Julius Randle. That worked okay. Still got his. I don't know. It should be interesting to see if we get the star treatment. I don't think so. I think they're going to try to lock him down and just have everybody else beat you, which means Jalen Brunson probably gets. Although Jalen Brunson's kind of been dealing with some things, but maybe Emmanuel quickly gets his tonight. Great player. Big fan of his talent. Out of the Knicks.
Good. Thank you for specifying.
Tom Thibodeau. I don't know.
It's hate week.
It's hate week, man. You get the Knicks twice in an 8-day span, basically.
Yeah, I like it.
Although I call it 7-day span because it fits my. And you get the Nets and you get the Raptors.
Yeah, a lot of Eastern Conference action. It's an opportunity for us to rise in the rankings, but will we is the question.
That is. I think you get a good start tonight. I do think you get a good start tonight and then let the chips fall where they may. Hopefully Caleb Martin can play. We need his body. We need his fouls. We need his three-point ability and his driving ability. Basically, we just need Caleb Martin to play. So get him off the questionable list. Let's get him in the game. Kyle Lowry, let's get you off the bench and let's go Heat. And next, we're going to have the first annual, maybe not annual, maybe just the first ever.
I'm just going to do it like every time I want to and just call it annual.
Tobin and Leroy Spelling Bee. Start studying now. This is the Tobin and Leroy Show on 560 WQAM. starting it up. It is hate week here for the Miami Heat. They get the Knicks twice in basically a week tonight. Then 1 week from today on Wednesday, you got the Nets in there, who, if you win tonight, you're basically tied for 6th place, and then you have a chance to beat them on Saturday. Toronto coming to town. We're hoping the Knicks have enough in the tank, or maybe have figured things out, just like we thought that the Panthers maybe had things figured out. We were excited about that.
Excited about that.
And then they lost last night. They had a 7-game scoring streak going until last night.
Look, that's okay. Like, you're not going to be perfect the rest of the way, but you want to see that your team is trending in the right direction. Like, I don't want the Heat to follow up playing their best basketball with playing their absolute worst basketball. And that's what's been happening. Every time they play well enough to give you hope, the very next game they play like, oh, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's get moving. Let's get grooving. Let's score some points.
Are you guys ready to
team
score?
scoring 140. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, that helps too, actually.
Yeah.
Here we go, Marcos. You got that spelling bee ready?
You guys ready to score some points in the first annual Tobin and Leroy spelling bee? We got music.
There's music.
Is this Mortal Kombat music?
This is Mortal Kombat music.
Mortal spelling bee.
What's more intense?
There goes our copyright.
Now that you
finish him.
So, spelling bee, huh?
Uh-huh.
You guys ready for this?
We're
I'm going to
ready.
give you Miami sports figures, and you have to spell them. Right? Simple enough. Simple enough. But I'm going to give you a certain second mark because I don't trust that you guys are going to cheat and Google it.
I will not.
All right? So I need hands up as I'm asking you. This is fair and square.
Wait,
all right?
am I able to write it down?
What?
I'm
No.
a very visual.
I like writing
Can
it
I
down
use
so I
this?
can-
Look, it's empty.
If you're at a spelling bee, they're not like, yeah, let me.
Right on your
This
hand.
is the Tobin and Leroy one.
Right on your
Okay,
hand.
Right on your hand. That's how they do. That's how the kids do it in spelling
Yeah,
bee.
get it right on your hand.
I'm gonna do it right here.
All right.
Go ahead.
Leroy, I'm going to start with you. All right. Let's get some seconds on the clock. Good. All right. Excellent. Leroy, your spelling. You have 10 seconds. Jim Larinaga, go.
He's already laughing.
It's tricky.
Put your hands up.
5.
LLARA.
Did you say LL?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. I
Okay.
apologize. That is
I thought it was
incorrect.
2 L's. Do I have to put the inye?
You know, I would have been okay without the inye, but you got to get the first
It's
letter.
LARANGA.
Nope.
That is incorrect. If you continue, I'm gonna have to give you
No,
more
but
than
I need to write it down. Larinaga.
You're missing an important letter.
All right, let's go. I'm gonna give you one more try.
Final round.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What?
Wow.
It doesn't look right.
Intense. Yeah, it's not probably. You're
It's not
missing an
supposed
important
to
letter.
look right.
All right.
All right,
Go.
so
I
you got
pass.
that one incorrect.
Yeah.
And Day, I'm gonna give you a different one
Okay.
because I know what your spelling capabilities are. All right, so I don't want none of that
Studied a
mumbo
lot.
jumbo.
Studied a
dude.
lot. I'm cool.
If you guys know him or know this show, Mike Biamonte.
God.
Come on, voice of the Heat.
That's an easy one.
BIAMONTE.
Okay, so you said BIA.
MONTE.
All right, and now Leroy, you said it was an easy one. So let me.
That was easier than Larinaga.
All right, try Mike Biamonte. Go ahead, give it a shot.
He did it already.
Go ahead.
Do you
I mean,
remember
do you
what he
agree?
said?
Yeah, do you remember what he said?
It's
Do you agree with what he said?
BIAMONTE.
That is similar, if not the exact same spelling as Dan Day. And both of you guys are incorrect, actually. The correct spelling for Michael Biamonte. BAIAMONTE.
BAIA.
Yep. Hey, man, I don't make the rules.
You just got useless letters in your name.
What do you want me to tell
What the hell?
you?
Take it up with him.
Why is there a silent I in there?
I don't know.
So why is it Biamonte?
Hey, man, I don't make the rules.
Where's the B?
Diamante.
He's Italian or something. I don't know.
That's what I would guess.
What the
Jay
hell?
Fig, are you
We
ready?
don't say
You know what?
anything like we see.
I
it.
might not be ready, but let's go.
See, I like the old college try.
Jay Fig giving it her best shot. Your word is
Figueroa.
That's tough too.
Actually, we did do that on break. We did do that on break. I still don't know if I got it right.
Screwed.
Your word, Jay Fig, is
Mike Krzyzewski.
cool. Dwayne Wade.
Oh, that okay.
Yeah.
I will
Because
probably get this right.
He
Wrong
just got
because
7 letters
Tricky.
in the wrong place, but he still say Dwayne.
Dwayne Wade. Jay Fig. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5.
Say it, J Fig. We waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were okay. I bet. Okay. This is how I spelled it, but I know it's wrong.
All right. Okay.
well.
All right.
We didn't ask you how you spell it.
I'm not sure.
That's what I was waiting.
No, because I
This
used
is
to
how I
always,
do it.
like I used to always spell it one way, and then I realized one day when I googled him that it was the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel that.
So spell what's the other way?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't remember. Okay,
All
so
right.
the way I spell it is DWAYNE, and then
All
Wade
right.
is WADE.
Okay.
You got the weight.
That's wrong, right?
That is indeed incorrect. It
Okay,
is-
so I think it's DY.
Okay, well, again, that is incorrect.
No. Okay, wait, it's DW.
There's only 26 letters in the alphabet. You
What
just
is
use
she
them
gonna
all.
do at their point?
We'll give you Wade. You got that.
You got
Don't
Wade.
focus on Wade.
That's
anymore.
half a point.
What if what if it's DWYANE?
There you
There
go.
you go. Correct. You got it right. J Fig is in
After
the
8
lead.
tries.
Well,
Lead.
Ew.
you know, it was a clear cut. You got Wade, right? You got
No,
Wade.
didn't she called it only 2 tries because she said, I know this is wrong, but this is how I spell it. Like that's not what we asked you. That's not how the spelling bee works.
All right, look, we gotta go through
I
a
was a lot
lightning.
closer than both of you, so
That's true.
Right.
Lightning
Not
round.
true. But that's not true. I saw you
Ah,
spelling
it was
Diamante right
so-
away.
No, it was so
Next.
true. Leroy, your word is Tua Tagovailoa.
I love how you said it the way.
I had to. I was trying to give him a hint.
TUA.
Oh, okay, this is the first name.
TAG.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yep.
A.
Okay.
GA. V.
This is good. This is great radio. I apologize.
No,
Everyone
no.
in the
IOLA.
Yes, that is incorrect. Correct. That is not the way to spell it. I think you put an A where there was supposed to be. It is the last name. You got the first 3 letters correct. Congrats. But the last name is TAGOVAILOA. So
Okay.
that was a bit of a rough one. I'm not gonna lie to you. And luckily, I didn't give you his. Do you know what his actual first name is?
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
That
that,
one
would
would
have
be-
been.
His first name, if you wanted to spell that one, by the way, is TUA NIGAMANUOLEOLEPOLA. So good luck with that one. I should have gave that one to Dan Day. I'm not
God
lying.
bless you. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you spelled your name.
All right, now, Dan Day, this one is for you. This one's gonna seem easy, but there's quite a bit of Jalen's on the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
Oh,
There's quite a bit of Jalen.
there's 3 Jalen's, right?
You know, there's new Jalen Ramsey that came.
I got
right?
that one easy. JALEN
All right.
RAMSEY.
There's a Jalen Waddle and a Jalen Phillips. I need you to spell Jalen Phillips' first and last name.
JAYLENPHILLIPS.
I hate to break it to you, my man. That is incorrect.
It's 1 L.
Nope. It is
It's Phillips.
JAELAN.
Ah.
Oh.
And
Good job. Good job. Got me.
All right. Final one, J Fig, for all the marbles. A bajillion points.
No
on
one's
this
got
one.
anything right.
No one has gotten
Bajillion
anything.
points.
A bajillion points.
Wait, by the way, Marcos, you were reading the spellings and you were getting them wrong. How the hell are we supposed to know them off the top of our head?
You guys are radio professionals, all right?
That's
I'm just a normal guy off the streets.
Game show host.
Correct. A crooked game show host. J Fig, this one is a Dolphins legend. All right.
Oh.
He's known for his tough running. Larry Zonka. How do you spell that, J Fig?
Okay, I might spell it wrong, but it's okay.
All right.
Larry.
All right. Yep.
C.
Whoa.
D.
Whoa.
Onka.
So close. So close.
There's an S. You forgot an S.
So close.
There's an S.
C-S-O-N-K-A. There was no Z. Why do we say
What?
I know it's on my
Why
phone.
do we say Zonka?
I don't get it. But hey, man, a man as tough as that.
Well, the
he
same
wants to
reason why
call
most
it.
people say Tagovailoa, there's no N.
Well, you
That's
know
true.
what? I was one letter off, just like with Dwayne Wade. And guess what? I think I won.
Boom!
Wow.
Y'all lost by many letters.
There you go.
We'll be back for more wins and losses tomorrow. It's going to start at 10 o'clock, the Tobin and Leroy show. Of course, the Heat, they're going to be tipping off at 7:30 tonight. It is Hate Week against the Knicks. And we're also going to be keeping an eye on those Cavender twins. Why? Well, you know why. This is the Tobin and Leroy show here on 560 WQAM.